Okay. I think everything's finally working. Let's see. Except... Dang. Hang on. Oh! Let's see. Welcome back, comrades. I'm sorry for the long setup time. Here, I'll put up what I'm seeing now, at least. Let's see. We want this. Then we click over here. Why is that not showing? Oh, there it is. Okay. There. That is not what I wanted to do. Oh, I see. Okay. Put it about there. And then let's put that behind the stuff. There. That should do it. I do not have a dog in this house, Spoinker, I am sorry. But welcome! It seems that I've managed to transfer the game to this new computer, but not my save. So... hang on. I'm going to... if you can hang in there just a little bit longer, I'm going to... see what I can do about that. Let's see, sysdata shaders. Actually, you know what? I don't think there is anything that I can do about it. So let's just start from the beginning because... one moment. There we are. I turned off the fan so that it would stop, like, causing extra noise. But anyway, we're going to be starting here now with Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. As some of you may know, I wanted to do Pikmin 3, but that wasn't an option because
on the western
tech
edge
just
of the
isn't
Far
working for
East.
me.
Lies a peaceful country of spirit mediums and mystery, the kingdom of Khura'in. But now, the flames of revolution are threatening to consume it whole. But things like revolt and revolution were the furthest things from my mind when I first arrived in this land.
Here in Kurain, death is not the end. Even after death, the soul lives on in the Twilight Realm, and priestesses can commune with the spirits of the dead. Fear not death, in the name of the Holy Mother. Fear only the impurities of your soul. This blight on my soul. I'll have the child take the blame. I'm still here, Spoinker. I'm just not showing my face for this because I want you to get in the zone like I am, you know? I'm going to be voicing these characters. April 23rd, 4:26 p.m. Kingdom of Kurain. Also, hello Nivell and welcome. You're just in time. Whew. I'm finally here. So this is the Kingdom of Kurain, huh? What a long trip. I wonder how many hours I was in the air. Just look at this place. It's going great, thank you, Nivell. There's going to be a bit of a special part of this stream, and my grandmother wanted to see it, so. Say hi. My aunts, a couple of my aunts are watching too, I believe. Get a load of this street! It really feels like I'm in another world here. And that gorgeous temple! I read that's the center of town. Wow! An ox right in the middle of the street! I have to get a picture of that!
Excuse me, sir.
I wonder what kind of bird that is. I've never seen anything like it. That's quite a crest it has on its head.
Excuse me, sir!
What? Oh, yes?
Pardon me, but are you Mr. Wright?
Yes, that's right. Oops. Hope he hasn't been trying to get my attention all this time. Wait a minute. Are you?
That's right! I'll be your guide, at your service! I'm a monk in training at Temple, and I'll be your guide around town. It's very nice to meet you. Happy Rocky!
This game is very fond of its name puns. Happy what now?
Happy Rocky! That's how we greet people here in Kurain. It's like, hello, or how do you do? It's a pretty handy expression to know.
Okay, let me give it a try. Hello, I'm Phoenix Wright. Happy Rocky! My name is Phoenix Wright, and I run a small law office. Well, that's what I do back home, anyway. Right now, I'm just a traveler, a stranger in a strange land.
Welcome to our country! Welcome to the Kingdom of Kurain, land of spirit mediums and mystery! This is for you! Celebrate your arrival!
Speaking of mystery, what is this mysterious green lump exactly?
Allow me to explain! This is a famous Kuraini sweet bun. It's called a Magataman, or soul bun. It's shaped like a Magatama. It's so yummy it'll send your soul right to the Twilight Realm.
That doesn't exactly make me eager to try it. Thanks. I think I'll indulge later.
That'll be 20 Damas. Thank you for your patronage.
I have to pay?
I always have plenty of those on hand, so just let me know if you ever want any more.
No wonder his bag looks so heavy. It's stuffed with all the tools of his trade.
Oops, I almost forgot to tell you something really important. It's about Miss Maya. She can't come see you for a few days yet.
Yeah, when I called her from the airport, she said she was still training up in the mountains. I told her I'd wait for her here. Either way, I was glad to hear she's in good spirits. can't believe the dude's a goddamn Yu-Gi-Oh character. Yep. A lot of people here are Yu-Gi-Oh characters. Maya Fey. She's a spirit medium who used to work as my assistant. I came all the way out here to celebrate the end of her ascetic training with her. This is my first time in this country, so I'll be counting on you, okay?
You got it, sir. Please don't hesitate if you need anything at all.
Maya was right when she told me I could leave everything in your capable hands.
Aw, shucks. She said that? That sure was nice of her. I had a chance to show Miss Maya around a little bit, too.
If there's one person Maya was worried about, it's me. Because we both know trouble likes to follow you wherever you go, she said. That girl worries too much.
But you sure came early to the party, Mr. Right, sir. I mean, Miss Maya won't be done with her training for another 2 weeks.
Ugh. I hate to admit it, but I came early because I was worried about her too. Oh, well, you know. I thought I'd get in a little sightseeing first.
Ooh, sightseeing? Well, I'm your man for that. I'll show you all the best sights this country has to offer.
Thanks. That'd be great. I guess Albie takes his job very seriously.
Well, what are we waiting for? Those sights aren't going to see themselves.
Yikes, you don't have to shove!
First stop, Temple, right there in the center of town. There's something there I really want to show you.
Hey yo, Dreadful Red. Yes, I am playing the classic. There was some demand for this. As I say, I wanted to do Pikmin 3, but my capture card wasn't cooperating. So you get more voice acting instead for a bit, while I try to get that working. But I think this is going to be a pretty special episode, for reasons that you'll see shortly. Nice being first, Spoinker. And as for hydration... Dang it! I thought I had my water here. I guess I didn't. Hang on. I'll be back in a few seconds. I'll go find it. Well, of course I go looking through the whole house, and it just happens to be behind a chair next to me. Anyways, thank you for the redeemed Spoinker. Let's see. Without further delay. Wow, it's even more impressive up close.
Allow me to explain. This is the heart of our town, Temple. It was created by the founder of Koraianism, the Holy Mother herself. I'm training right here at this temple to be a monk someday.
I read that the people of this country are all adherents of Koraianism. According to my guidebook, it's a religion in which ancestral spirits are venerated.
The Holy Mother was a great spirit medium who could commune with our ancestors' souls. And spirit mediums become queen to this day, direct descendants of the Holy Mother.
A spirit medium rules the entire country, huh? Talk about power and influence. Back to Genshin and Star Rail. Good luck with the OG raid. This is Red signing out. Alright, well thanks for stopping by, Red. And as for an Enji Roth, well, I'll be doing you one better in about half an hour, probably. If I remember right.
The main thing you'll want to see when you come to Temple is the Dance of Devotion rite. The Dance of Devotion takes place twice, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. This dance, along with the Song of Ceremony, is performed in offering to the Holy Mother. The Dance of Devotion has the power to summon forth souls from the Twilight Realm, and Kyrani's, we believe the soul is carried by the sacred Kyrani's butterfly. Its wings form a loop that wraps around the soul to transport it.
Hold it! Slow down! I can't remember all of that at once. Thank you for the posture check, Kecleon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I got a little overexcited.
I am gonna need good posture for what's coming. Anyway, the main thing I got from all that is that you really, really love your country.
Well, that's sure true.
I like this kid. He pours his heart into everything he does.
Let's see. I guess I just explained about half of what I usually explain, so I'll give you a special discount and only charge you 10 Damas for the tour fee. Thank you for your patronage!
And thank you, Lady Void, for the hydrate. Although I do recommend you let me save those for the part that's coming up. I guess he pours his heart into aggressive salesmanship, too.
Come to think of it, Miss Maya told me she could tell I love my country, too. We stood here for about an hour while I told her all about the Holy Mother.
Really? An hour? Hope that counted as patience training.
And she seemed really interested, too. She listened to my whole speech.
Huh. That doesn't sound like the Maya I know.
Miss Maya is so kind and nice. She treats me really well, like a little brother. She's kind of like a big sister to me.
This is Maya Fey you're talking about, right? Maybe she's grown up since I last saw her.
Oh no!
What's the matter?
Isn't that time already? We have to hurry into the temple right away! But first, let me give you this lyrics card for the Song of Ceremony I told you about. There's an English translation of the lyrics there too, so give it a read, okay? Let's go!
Why the big rush?
If we don't hurry, we'll miss the beginning of her benevolence's Dance of Devotion!
Her benevolence? She's getting all ready for the dance. Uh-oh.
I'll be your guide. You're under arrest for treason.
What? You are the ocean's gray waves. Yes, this does give that kind of vibe, doesn't it? Unfortunately, there's a bit of a dissonance in that connection that you'll very soon see, Kecleon. April 24th, 10:10 a.m. High Court of Khura'in, Accused Lobby. Let me in! Why won't you let me in? Because you're a foreigner. What business could you have with this court? I told you, my friend is on trial in there. Your headset cut out there for a minute. How'd the posture check go? It went well enough, thank you again. Told you, my friend is on trial in there. The police raided the temple in the middle of the dance performance yesterday and arrested Albie on suspicion of treason. I was worried about Albie, so I just had to come see his trial. The trial isn't a tourist attraction, so clear off! If you want a picture for your scrapbook, take one of me and get out of here! Look, you've got it all wrong! Just great. Well, I guess there's only one thing to do. I'm a lawyer. Yes, I'm a foreigner, but I'm not your average foreigner. What? I'm actually a lawyer! Back at home, anyway. Poor Apollo, he can't catch a break. Well, right now this is Phoenix. Apollo doesn't come in until a little later, Pizza. But this one does have Phoenix and Apollo in it. But right now I am Phoenix. What? A lawyer? I can't... That's not possible. What's he so shocked about? Well, whatever. Now's my chance. Nothing wrong with a lawyer entering the courtroom, right? Wait, get back here, you! Yes, lawyers went extinct. Kecleon, I had to start this over from the beginning because I wasn't able to transfer my save over to... Anyway, so this is a Kurainis courtroom. Wait, isn't that... her benevolence? What's she doing here in court? The divination seance has been performed. I will now hand down my verdict against the accused. Guilty! What? A verdict already? But the trial only just started!
Guilty? There's gotta be some kind of mistake. Please take another look.
Seances performed by Princess Rayfa are infallible. They show only the truth. What right do you have to question her abilities?
But I didn't... Isn't it ironic that you, a devout adherent of Kurainism, would dare doubt her insight? Non-believers will only be met with suffering in the Twilight Realm, you know. But I didn't do it. Your benevolence! Allow me to explain, I beg of you! Be silent, impudent whelp! There is no merit to be had in indulging the ramblings born of a criminal's unclean soul. But...
What in the world is going on here? The Judgemate is ruling based on something called a divination seance? What does Hyrule have to do with all of this? What is Albie's attorney doing? Wait a minute, where is Albie's attorney?
Why is this happening? I didn't do anything wrong! Foolish child.
Hello, Sparkle.
Doubting the divination seance is tantamount to doubting the Holy Mother herself. Your Majesty, as Royal Priestess and in the name of the Holy Mother, I command you, impose the highest penalty against this unclean soul.
As you command, so shall it be done, your benevolence. May her holiness grant us her divine favor. Urdihara Kurain!
Objection!
What?
Oh boy. Yep, we're gonna do it. Wait just one moment! Me and my big mouth. Now what?
Mr. Wright, what are you doing here, sir?
Well, I'm in it now, so I have to do this right. Your Honor, it's too soon to give your verdict. This trial has only been underway for a few minutes.
Excuse me, who on earth are you?
Ah, thank you, Sparkle. I'm, well, Your Streams Nibble. Oh, I've been calling you by your last name the whole time. So sorry, Streams. We're close enough friends now, right? An ordinary tourist, Your Honor, just passing through.
Ah, a tourist, are you? Happy Rocky.
But more importantly, where is this boy's defense attorney?
Defense attorney? Whatever are you talking about? He doesn't need a defense attorney.
Wait, what?
Of course you wouldn't be aware, being a foreigner and all. But we have no need for defense attorneys here in the Kingdom of Khurain. We leave it all up to her benevolence's sacred power of spirit communion. Her divination seances determine all.
What? But surely you see how unfair that is? What kind of insane court system are they running here? You would dare mock me, you barb-headed buffoon! If you value your life, you will leave post-haste. Or shall I summon the bailiff? The bailiff is that big scary dude with the big scary gun, isn't he? I'm sure he would be happy to oblige you with a bullet or two as a souvenir of your travels. At the cost of an arm and a leg, no doubt.
No, hold on! Mr. Wright has nothing to do with any of this!
I'll be...
I appreciate what you're trying to do, Mr. Wright, but never mind about me. You just go on ahead and go see Miss Maya.
But...
Forget about me! You have to go now! I'm sure you can find another guide. There were lots more places I wanted to show you. But it looks like I won't get a chance now. I'm sorry.
Poor kid. He's trying to put on a brave face, but look how terrified he is. What can I do? What should I do? Well, Spoinker said it first. We gotta save Albie. They're about to execute a 9-year-old boy for treason. I can't just let a verdict be handed down with nobody standing in Albie's corner. If Albie doesn't have a defense attorney, then I'll do it. I'll defend him.
Defend him? You can't be serious.
Did you hear that? Is he out of his mind? Heaven forbid!
Defend me? Mr. Wright, what are you saying? You can't do that!
I most certainly can. Don't worry, I'm quite used to tackling all sorts of trials. Besides, can you imagine how furious Maya would be if I let anything happen to you?
Mr. Wright!
As they say, screw them kids. Pizza, come on.
You are but a naive tourist, ignorant of our ways. But if you are smart, you will heed my advice. Do not pursue this matter any further.
Looks like defending somebody is easier said than done in this country.
Bailiff, throw this man out!
Hold it! Your Majesty, if you please.
You have something to say, Mr. Payne?
Why not allow it, Your Majesty? Why not have him defend the accused? It could prove very interesting, right, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Right, Mr. Whoever you are.
Prosecutor, are you acquainted with this traveler?
That's Chief Prosecutor, Your Majesty. And yes, I am acquainted with him. He's a defense attorney from my native land. I've had dealings with him in the courtroom before.
Heavens to Betsy!
What? Mr. Wright, you're a defense attorney?
A defense attorney? Well, this is a shock!
You may be surprised to hear that I have more than 10 years of experience. Prosecution is definitely drunk. On power, yes. I guess there aren't all that many lawyers around here.
Your Majesty, would you kindly allow us to proceed in the manner of my old country?
But Mr. Payne, I've already made a ruling in this case.
Call it nostalgia if you will, but I am most eager to give it a try.
Thank you, pizza.
But I have a previous engagement, you see. A class together with the missus.
Your Majesty, I agree we should have a whack at it. It sounds amusing. A score of years have passed since we last saw a defense attorney in this courtroom.
A score as in 20 years? What's the deal with this country? It's been 23, actually.
Mr. Payne, I want that barbed head brought to me on a stick. As you wish, Your Benevolence. I, Chief Prosecutor Payne, will see to it myself.
The anime adaptation of this case should be called Lawyer's Reign. Oh?
Very well, Mr. Payne. If that is what you and Her Benevolence want, I will acquiesce. As for the defense, I hope you are prepared for every eventuality.
Every eventuality? What is he talking about?
There, are you satisfied now, Mr. Wright?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Payne. Wolf's Reign is an anime where wolves are supposedly extinct, but actually aren't. Ah, fair enough. Of course you'd know about something wolf-related, Kecleon. Thank you for the bit of trivia. And thank you for the posture checks, Boinker. Yes, thank you, Mr. Payne, and sorry for not remembering you earlier.
That's Chief Prosecutor, or the Incredible Payne, as I'm also known in this country. And you'll see soon enough just why that is, when you're forced to capitulate to me before this very court of law.
Why is he so strangely confident? And not only that, but what's with the gallery?
Just you watch. That defense attorney will try and twist the truth. You can bet on it.
Get him, Chief Prosecutor! Crush that defense devil!
This is way more lawyer hate than even back home.
Now, if you would please give your opening argument once again, Mr. Payne.
Certainly, Your Majesty. The accused is charged with 2 crimes, larceny and murder.
Yes, he is, Pizza.
Yesterday, the Founder's Orb was stolen from the treasure room of Temple. In addition to the theft, 2 other things were discovered in the treasure room. The dead body of Mr. Pot Roll, Temple security guard, and the empty treasure box that housed the orb which Mr. Roll was in charge of guarding. We believe that Mr. Roll was murdered by the thief who stole the treasure.
To kill a guard armed with a gun? What a terrifyingly bold act!
I couldn't agree more, Your Majesty. Please allow me to submit as evidence the victim's autopsy report and crime photo.
Roll's autopsy report added to the court record. Time of death is around noon. His head showed signs of being hit with a blunt object. Crime photo added to the court record. The temple's treasure room. The body was discovered at the base of the stairs to the altar. Alright.
It's been a long time since we had evidence presented in court as well. It's kind of refreshing, actually.
We may rely on the power of the seances, but our police still carry out investigations. Thus, any proof I provide is indisputable.
Oh, really? Well, forgive me if I don't just take your word for it. Check the evidence on myself by looking at the court record. Yeah, this is just game mechanic stuff. Let's read the autopsy report. Time of death, April 23rd, 12 to 1 p.m. Cause of between 12 and 1 p.m. Cause of death, cerebral contusion from a head injury. Okay. And here's the photo. All right. We'll see just how thorough you and your police were, Mr. Payne.
Such a deplorable crime. The audacity of stealing the sacred treasure of Her Holiness, our founding mother. It's a crime that strikes at the very heart of our nation.
Exactly, Your Majesty. We mustn't let the culprit get away with these heinous deeds. Indeed, such deeds are best described as treason against the crown.
Is this treasure really such a valuable object?
How could you even ask such a thing? Of course it is!
The priestess did it?
Why, sealed within this treasure is the very soul, the Mitama of the Holy Mother.
We actually saw who did it in a starting cutscene, Kecleon. It wasn't the priestess. It's someone we haven't seen since, yet. her soul is sealed within the treasure? I think I'll take that with a grain of salt.
You don't believe it, do you?
Of course I believe it! Something tells me I'd better play along.
This kind of irreverence is exactly why I dislike defense attorneys so much.
Your Honor, Your Majesty?
What is it now?
This treasure, I've never seen it, so it's a little hard for me to imagine. Could I see a photo of it or something?
Of all the outlandish requests, you defense attorneys are truly beyond the pale.
He's been getting awfully angry with me. Are those veins popping out of his forehead?
It's forbidden for anyone outside of the royal family to view the treasure itself. They say that anyone without the proper spiritual power would be blinded instantly. That is why the average person has never seen the treasure, Mr. Wright.
I guess there are national treasures that are off limits to the public back home, too.
For the benefit of the shamelessly uninformed defense, let me share this newspaper article. It includes photos taken about 8 years ago when the treasure was unearthed. These are the only public photos of the outer box in existence. What's more, the treasure box only leaves the temple's treasure room but once a year, for a special New Year's rite that takes place at the palace. Therefore, this treasure box has only ever been seen by a handful of people.
Forced open and its contents stolen, the average person can only see it in this newspaper article. Okay.
I hear there's been a string of thefts lately of historic artifacts from the temple.
Right, Your Majesty. Inexcusable thievery of precious national treasures for personal gain. And the culprit is the accused.
So he used his position as monk in training to get his hands on the treasure, is that it?
The accused's family is by no means wealthy. To help with family finances, he works as a tour guide in addition to his ascetic training.
Thank you for giving an excellent outline of the case, Mr. Payne. Now then, no more questions from the defense, I presume?
What? No, I do have questions!
Even more? But you just asked a bunch! Well, make it snappy. My class starts in just a few short minutes.
What? He's still planning on going to that thing? How would he benefit monetarily from a treasure that blinds anyone who looks at it? Yeah, see, that's a bit of a glaring issue. How would a 9-year-old child have the means to sell, like, such an important stolen national treasure? Blinding or no blinding? What? He's still planning on going to that thing? There's still a lot I don't know about the case. I should ask now while I have the chance. Let's see, what else do I need to know more about? The weapon? Mr. Payne, what was the murder weapon?
The murder weapon was the treasure box itself. The empty treasure box left at the scene had a large blood stain on it.
How utterly reprehensible, using the sacred treasure box for murder!
The accused came to the treasure room with the express purpose of stealing the treasure. He climbed the altar stairs and snatched the box, ready to abscond with the treasure. But he was discovered by Mr. Roll, who had come to the room in the course of his rounds. After walloping Mr. Roll on the head with the treasure box, the accused forced the bloodied housing open and made off with the treasure inside.
The murder weapon. Okay. But the defendant is just a little boy. I hardly think he would be able to hit the victim, a grown man, on the head.
Very good point, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that won't help you. At the time of the crime, the accused was on the stairs leading up to the altar. The accused's elevated position would more than make up for their difference in stature.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. How would a 9-year-old boy have enough strength to whack a treasure box, to fatally whack a treasure box into the head of a trained, like, security guard for this sort of thing? That's still an issue, and I don't think they ever touch on that.
Mr. Payne, your reasoning is flawless. What an elegant argument. Hats off to you, Chief Prosecutor. Your title is obviously well earned. Well, the accused's guilt is certainly conclusive. Unless there is anything else, I am ready to announce my verdict. Very well, in that case, I find the accused...
Just one moment, Your Majesty! Don't you think you're rushing the verdict just a little bit?
I told you. I have plans to attend to, and... Ah! I'm late! It's already started! How did the time fly by so fast?
He's still stuck on that? We haven't even heard the defendant's side of the story yet! Your Majesty, the defense asserts its right to cross-examine the defendant. Huh? Did I say something funny?
Cross-examine the... What do you mean by that?
What? What do you mean, what do I mean?
I seem to have some dim recollection of the process, but I can't quite recall.
And little wonder a so-called defendant hasn't been questioned in over 20 years!
Should I even be surprised anymore? Anyway, I demand we let the defendant, or the accused, tell his side of the story.
Is that really necessary?
Of course it's necessary, Your Majesty!
What harm could it do? I say we allow the boy to speak, Your Majesty. Though I doubt he'll have anything of relevance to say.
Oh, how kind of you, Your Royal Painness.
Very well. As long as it's okay with you, Mr. Payne. I'm already hopelessly late for my class anyway.
In that case, the prosecution calls the accused back to the witness stand.
Oh, but before we do, I'd better call my wife and apologize for missing that class. Any objections?
Go for it, Your Majesty.
Accused, state your name and occupation again, if you would.
I'll be your guide. I'm in training to be a monk, and I'm a tour guide, too.
Why me? Now, where were we?
Cross-examining the defendant, Your Majesty.
Right. Let's do that, then. At the defense attorney's insistence, I might add.
He sounds a little dispirited. His wife must have given him a piece of her mind.
Well, the defense had better get to it, and make it quick, if you please.
The defense? Mr. Wright, I didn't know you were a lawyer.
Well, I am, and I'm here to defend you, Albie. Don't worry. All you have to do is tell the truth, and you'll be all right.
You tricked me!
What?
If I knew you were a lawyer, I wouldn't have given you that tour. Give back that Magatama I gave you yesterday.
Albie, what's gotten into you?
Don't talk to me. You disgust me.
Now even Albie's against me? But why?
This must be a new experience for you, Mr. Wright, being loathed by a client.
It's actually not.
Now then, accused, please give the court your testimony. The incident occurred around noon, during the break between the morning and afternoon dances of devotion. I want you to tell the court what you were doing around that time. All right.
The accused's account.
I didn't kill Mr. Roll, and I didn't steal the treasure. I'm not allowed to go anywhere near the treasure room.
Hang on, just arranging something on my end. Okay, there we go.
I've never even seen that treasure box with the green Koreanese butterfly on it. When the incident happened, I was in the hallway planning out my tour route.
Were you well acquainted with the victim?
Yes, he used to chat with me whenever we ran into each other in the temple. Mr. Roll was a monk in training when he was a kid too, you know.
I bet Albie looked up to him.
But he had to give that up and go to work when his family needed money. That's why he became a guard, but at least that way he could still stay on at the temple. He was so proud when he was put in charge of guarding the treasure box. He even got to carry the box to the palace for the New Year's rite. The victim's parents apparently both died relatively young. So Mr. Roll had to support his younger brothers and sisters as well. But even with his job as a security guard, I'm sure things couldn't have been easy for him.
It sounds like his circumstances and Alby's were very similar.
Mr. Roll encouraged me to never give up. Albie, you train hard and make sure you become a monk one day. Don't end up like me, he'd say. He was always cheering me on in my training and in my tour guide business, too. Why in the world would I kill a nice man like that?
Yes, I see. You expressed yourself well. Defense, now that you've heard the accused's account, are you finally satisfied? If so, let's draw this to an expeditious conclusion.
But your Majesty, I haven't even cross-examined the defendant yet!
That wasn't the end of it? It's been so long, I don't rightly recall what this cross-examining thing is all about.
A judge who doesn't know what a cross-examination is. What fresh hell is this?
I really do wish I could remember how it works.
Should I give the judge a refresher on cross-examination? No. Let's just get past that. I'd better save my breath. The judge doesn't exactly seem like a model student. He'll just have to watch and see how it's done. Now let's see. He said, I didn't kill Mr. Roll, and I didn't steal the treasure. I'm not allowed to go anywhere near the treasure room, okay? I've never even seen that treasure box with the green Kurainis butterfly on it. How do you know that it's green? The only photo all that anyone's ever seen of the box is this black and white photograph. Objection!
Objection!
Oh, Albie, why would you lie to me? So you say you've never laid eyes on the treasure box, is that right?
That's right. It's forbidden, so I'd never do that.
In that case, how did you know there was a green butterfly on it?
Huh? Because I saw the picture of it in that newspaper article.
Nope. Take another look. These photos are in black and white. You couldn't possibly tell what color the butterfly is from these pictures.
Ah!
Hold on. This bag, did it just move?
Bolkunka!
I beg your pardon?
Bolkunka is a word in Kurainis that people use when they're surprised.
You just exposed a lie. So this is the power of cross-examination, is it?
I should be the one shocked here by your shocking lack of understanding.
But just a moment. If the accused was lying, then that just makes him more suspicious than ever.
And this just makes things worse for me than ever. Albie, are you hiding something? Please give only true statements. I can't help you if you don't tell the truth. Oh, the bag's moving again. I wonder. Darn. I just can't seem to get him to open up to me.
So, accused, you have seen the treasure box with your own eyes after all, haven't you?
Well, maybe I did take a peek one time a long time ago when I was cleaning the treasure room.
But you weren't in the treasure room at the time of the incident, right?
Of course I wasn't.
Objection!
That is a lie! You were most definitely inside the treasure room on the day of the incident. And I have proof.
He does?
This was found on the floor of the treasure room. It's a scroll entitled Notice and contains a list of temple monk duties. These instructions pertain to the day of the incident.
And what exactly is that supposed to prove?
The accused's fingerprints were found on the scroll.
What?
Oh no! Where is it? It's not here! I must have dropped it somewhere.
Indeed, you must have dropped it when you were busy murdering the victim.
Notice added to the court record. Notice from the day of the incident, the defendant's fingerprints were found on it. I wonder what the thing actually says. No. Then that means... Let's read it. April 23rd. Due to the growing number of thefts around the temple, we'll be tightening security throughout. Therefore, all of the hallway shutters will remain shut for today's Dance of Devotion. Okay. that might be important later. Albie was there on the day of the incident?
So this is the power of cross-examination. The more the accused talks, the guiltier he paints himself.
Yes, it would seem so, your majesty.
He predicted my argument and had evidence ready to refute it. How was any of that supposed to help the accused?
See, I told you can't trust lawyers and their lies.
Benevolence already said the kid's guilty.
Just declare him guilty and get it over with. No, everything's going all wrong. Shadow, what do I do?
As I suspected, this cross-examination session has served no purpose whatsoever.
No, you're wrong.
But armed as we are with her benevolence's insight, there's no reason to doubt his guilt.
Then I guess I'll just have to poke holes in this insight of hers.
By the way, this didn't prove to be very interesting at all, Mr. Payne. Nevertheless, I will now finally announce my verdict.
Wait just one moment, your majesty. I haven't seen this divination seance for myself yet. As the defense, I have the right to check it.
Is that really necessary? I have to get home and apologize to my wife.
I guess she really did give him the business.
Your majesty, I enthusiastically support having Mr. Wright see the seance.
You do? And why is that, Mr. Payne?
Don't you want to see it? See the lawyer being utterly crushed by the power of the seance, and then watch him tearfully beg for mercy.
Well now.
I'm sure it'll make up for not getting to go to that class with your wife.
It certainly does sound worth seeing, and it'd give me a juicy tidbit to tell the missus.
I've been reduced to a juicy tidbit.
Well, foreign interloper, I imagine you do have to see it for yourself to be convinced. It's certainly unprecedented, but let's have the divination seance performed again. But then, right after the tearful begging, I really do have to be going.
The only tearful begging is going to come from the prosecution when we're through.
How pitiful the defense looks, still scrambling desperately for a foothold, blissfully unaware that defeat and despair are all that await him.
Alright, let's see what this divination seance is all about. There she is, her benevolence.
Your benevolence, Rafa Padma Kurain. Thank you for coming all this way once again.
Your gratitude is unnecessary. This is simply my duty.
Barb-headed attorney!
Yes?
I am told you question the veracity of the sacred divination seance. It would seem the depths of your irreverence and blasphemy are lost on you.
I'm just a foreigner, ignorant in the ways and customs of this country. I apologize in advance for anything rude I might say or do, your benevolence. All I want is a fair trial for Albie.
You would imply that the trials of this country are unfair. Do explain, outsider. How verdicts founded on truths imparted by the very souls of the dead lack impartiality.
What's fair about trials with no defense and no chance for the accused to tell their story?
How dare you speak to her benevolence in that manner?
Did you hear that? Did you hear how he talked to her benevolence? Does he know about anything? Ignorant outsider. We won't stand for it. He must be punished. Yikes. Looks like I really stuck my foot in it this time. Punish him! Punish him!
Punish him! Punish him! Silence, one and all!
Is she standing up for me?
Be not disquieted, my people. He merely expresses his opinion.
Well, looks like her benevolence is going to be more reasonable than I thought.
Attorneys are ghastly creatures with souls stained black by brazen untruths. The words of a lowly worm such as that are not worth troubling yourselves over.
Alright, I take that back.
None of his prattling can sway the truth of my insights. Rest assured he will soon see the error of his foolish ways.
Now then, your benevolence. The divination seance, if you would.
Certainly. Nana, my robe.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Now we get to see another dance. Most people would sparkle, I would think. Most people would trip over that cloth in an instant if they tried this. This takes a lot of practice, I'm sure. Look in the pool of souls. We get to see the final moments of the victim. He smells incense. He hears the song of ceremony and a boy's voice. Oh. Pain. That's right, hang on. This isn't quite centered. There. I got it. What just happened? An image appeared in the pool!
A final message from the victim's soul, the last communication of his Mitama. The divination seance has revealed this to us.
Her benevolence can use her power of spirit communion to project the victim's memories of the last few moments before their demise.
So what we saw in the pool is what Mr. Roll actually experienced?
In the victim's memories, we see the accused raising a weapon up over his head. This is consistent with the findings of the police investigation. There has to be some kind of mistake. I didn't do it.
This looks bad for Albie. Really, really bad.
Now do you see why I'm the incredible Pain?
More than I can express. But even if those really are the victim's last memories, what can I do with them?
There it is! There's the face of a man being utterly crushed! Oh, how long I've waited to see it! Isn't it wonderfully gratifying, Your Majesty?
Oh yes, very satisfying indeed. Now are you finally convinced, Traveler? The accused is most assuredly guilty.
Am I really the only unbiased one here?
Now then, I think we've been amused enough. If you give up now, I won't even invoke the Defense Culpability Act against you. You'd be free to slink back to your own country with your tail between your legs.
The Defense Culpability Act? What's that?
What? You mean you honestly don't know?
No? What's with all the hubbub?
Well, well. Not only is he a lying, black-hearted lawyer, he's also an imbecile.
Your Majesty, I think you'd better explain the Defense Culpability Act to him.
Yes, I think I'd better. The Defense Culpability Act, or DC Act for short, is as follows. In the name of Her Eminence, those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In other words, if you help the accused by defending him and he is found guilty, you will receive the same sentence as he.
What? What kind of insane law is that?
Under the DC Act, many an attorney has been convicted and met with a grim fate.
Okay, looks like everyone's back. So what we just found out is that this country has what's called the Defense Culpability Act, or DC Act, which basically states that if you are a defense attorney for someone who is found guilty, you are given the same sentence as your client. Which is crazy. Yes, Sparkle, this is how they got rid of defense attorneys.
Some went to prison, others received the death penalty. That's why there are so few in our country today who admit to being an attorney.
That's as it should be. The history of our courts proves that. Attorneys are black-souled creatures who will tell any lie to save the accused. Thus, attorneys deserve to be exterminated!
Yikes. I've never felt so much hostility coming at me from so many sides. What could have happened to make everyone feel this way?
You fell right into my trap, Phoenix Wright! Your win streak against me and my brother ends today! With the Seance and the DC Act on my side, I'll finally get my revenge!
Yeah, this is about as kangaroo as courts get, eh, Pizza? So that's why he was so eager to have me defend Albie.
Chased out and humiliated back home, fate brought me to the foothills of Khura'in. I thank my lucky stars that I'm chief prosecutor here now.
This guy was a really, awful guy as a prosecutor, and as far as I know, he was disbarred from his home country because the chief prosecutor over there found out that he was a slime ball. And so he's come over here and become chief prosecutor because he has no opposition. And now he's trying to he's pushing to get Albie found guilty just so that Phoenix will get executed.
Defense, know that if I rule that the accused is guilty, you will go to prison too.
That explains Albie's reaction earlier.
Defend me! Mr. Wright, what are you saying? You can't do that! Your Majesty, isn't a prison sentence a bit lenient? After all, we're talking about treason. One should pay for such a crime with one's life.
There it is.
Yes, I believe the death penalty might be appropriate under these circumstances.
He's pushing to get an obviously innocent 9-year-old boy put to death just so that he can get Phoenix Wright also put to death over a petty grudge. The death penalty? No way. You're kidding, right, Your Majesty?
Do I look like I'm kidding? I'll have you put your life and your dark, tainted soul on the line here.
Death? This can't be happening.
The Court of Resignation. Our courts are well known as thus. In this land where my seances provide the truth and no attorneys can intervene, criminals know that all they can do is resign themselves to their fate.
Oh, foreign lawyer, I ask you once more. Are you sure you still want to defend the accused?
There's Maya to think of in all of this, too. I can't just lay down my life. What in the world should I do? Continue the defense. Because we are gonna get this guy found not guilty somehow, no matter how many kangaroos are in this court. Isn't this why I became a lawyer in the first place? to help those with no one on their side. I can't just abandon everything I believe in. All I can do now is stand firm and fight.
Well, don't hold your tears back on my account, Phoenix Wright. Admit your defeat and grovel before me, the chief prosecutor, for your life.
Objection!
How about no? Even if it means being subject to the Defense Culpability Act, I will defend Albie.
What? But Mr. Wright!
The defendant insists he's innocent, and not even a divination seance should be accepted without examination.
Oh, good God! But if I'm found guilty, you'll get the death penalty too! Even knowing that, you still want to defend me?
I don't know what happened in the past, but it looks like everyone in this country considers lawyers to be liars. So I can understand if you don't believe me. But I still believe in you and your innocence. So all I have to do is keep believing and find the truth. That's all there is to it.
Barb-headed attorney, you continue to amuse me. Though your barbed jabs are proving to be more than mere jokes.
Your benevolence. Believe me when I say that this attorney will knock your insides out.
Insolent, disrespectful attorney! You'll have plenty of time to regret your folly in the Twilight Realm.
Not a wise move, traveler. Not wise at all. You should have taken the chance I offered to save your life. But you have made your choice. The Defense Culpability Act will be applied in this case.
Twilight Princess? Right, they did call that the Twilight Realm, and yes, I just made that connection. Yes, yeah. Apparently, when people die here, they go live with the Twilight instead, I guess.
But you have made your choice. The Defense Culpability Act will be applied in this case. And with this verdict, you'll both soon be parting with your heads!
Plenty of... Oh my god, pizza. The souls of the departed speak only the truth, and I but give their messages a voice. If you think my insights contain falsehood, I challenge you to prove it. Okay. I will. Insight. Rafa's insight. The accused swung whatever he was holding down on the victim's head. With the pain, the victim's vision went dark. This is when he lost his life. Love material, Midna. Still, I can't believe it. A murder after the morning dance of devotion.
Love material, Midna.
These are the victim's experiences just before his death. As the victim's final memories, we can assume they aren't lies. So how do I break this down? Allow me to relieve you of your ignorance, Defense. Did you notice the words that appeared in the seance vision? Come to think of it, I did see words like Song of Ceremony and Incense. The victim's final memories are not limited to sight alone. Sight, smell, taste, sound, touch, all is laid bare in the Pool of Souls. After this segment is the part that everyone's been waiting for. Well, at least the first half of the part everyone's been waiting for. So what Mr. Roll experienced with his 5 sentences appears in the vision as words, right? Precisely. And by examining these sensations, we can perceive the victim's final moments with unparalleled clarity. Works for me. I can use all the extra information I can get. Now to find a contradiction between her insights and the seance vision. Your Benevolence, I ask that you please show me the seance vision again. Very well. I'll just skip that. What is going on? Do I have to tap this to skip it? No. Okay, I wasn't able to find the button. So I guess we just got to see it again. Wait a minute. Her Benevolence said after the morning dance of devotion earlier, didn't she? Isn't there something off about that? Yes, there is. This is just game controls here. I'll use these arrows to select the insight I think it's off. This one. Yes, this is the insight that sounded funny. Now I'll just carefully compare this insight with the seance vision. If I notice a sensation that seems contradictory, I'll tap select. Okay. I'm trying to skip ahead, but it's not letting me right now. This is it. This is the part of the vision that contradicts the insight. Now I just select the sensation I think is inconsistent and then present it. She said, after the morning dance of devotion. Why can we still hear the song?
Objection!
Wait just a moment!
Yes? What is it, barbed head?
You're saying the incident occurred after the morning dance of devotion, right?
That's right. What of it?
Then isn't it strange that Mr. Roll could still hear the Song of Ceremony?
Oh my, you're absolutely right.
Is that all that troubles you? Is that all that troubles you?
Huh?
What the victim heard was just a practice run of the Song of Ceremony.
Practice run? What are you talking about?
Mr. Payne, if you would. Certainly. Allow me to explain. The incident occurred in the interval between the morning and afternoon dances. During that time, the singers were practicing in the performance hall. Precisely. I was there as well, so I can corroborate this statement.
I see. So what the victim heard was that practice session. There goes my contradiction. Okay, so they were practicing in this performance hall. That must be the room where Albie and I saw Her Benevolence dancing.
However, Mr. Payne, I admit one detail troubles me.
Ask away, Your Majesty.
It's a big temple. The performance hall and treasure room are quite far from each other. Could the song really be heard all the way in the treasure room?
He's right. It is a very big temple. Well, how about it, Mr. Payne?
Your Majesty, have you forgotten? There are speakers in every room of Temple, including the treasure room.
Oh, that's right.
Speakers? For what purpose?
Are you serious, Mr. Wright? They're to broadcast the sacred music of the performance hall throughout the temple. That's why the victim could hear the Song of Ceremony in the seance vision. It was the practice run going on in the performance hall, heard over the speakers.
Thank you for your explanation, Your Benevolence. That makes perfect sense, even to a feeble-minded old man like me.
Think nothing of it.
Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you please alter your insights for us?
Very well.
They probably just left the mic on, Sparkle. The Song of Ceremony the victim heard was of a practice run through the temple's speakers. Okay. I think I'm getting the hang of this. If I point out an inconsistency, she'll update her insights accordingly. So if I keep pointing things out, maybe I can knock all of her insights out after all. I'd better find another inconsistency, no matter how small. Let's see. It's a bit hard to focus on the insights with the seance vision going. I'll try using the pause button to temporarily stop the vision. There! I paused the vision. I think I can touch the flashing panels to jump to different parts of the vision. I'll try moving the Mitama mark to the flashing red panel there. Okay, now that I know how to get around in seance visions, it's time to find inconsistencies between the insights and the vision. Okay, let's see. With the pain, the victim's vision went dark. This is when he lost his life. Not quite. Hang on. Because of a practice run through the temple speakers. With the pain, the victim's vision went dark. Except it's dark right now, and he doesn't feel any pain yet.
Objection!
You're saying the victim's field of vision went dark right after he was struck, correct?
Of course, as anyone with eyes can see.
Well, pardon me, but I must disagree. What? Your Benevolence, please take another look at the exact moment the victim felt pain.
Oh!
Everything goes black, and then, only after that, the victim feels pain.
Inconceivable!
This places the order of events at odds with what you say happened.
My word!
Bolkunka! Your Benevolence, what is the meaning of this?
I cannot be wrong. My insights are beyond fallacy.
If what the defense says is true, this is a very grave matter indeed. Please forgive me, Your Benevolence, but
Pizza, normally I don't, but this time I have played through this before. So, yes, I will accept commentary in the chat this time.
please forgive me, Your Benevolence, but I'm afraid this contradiction is something we simply can't ignore.
Don't outright spoil anything for anybody, though. That's all I ask.
Objection!
Now, let's not be too hasty, Your Majesty. I think I can clear this up.
You have something to add, Mr. Payne?
1,000 apologies. It seems the prosecution has failed to make one tiny thing clear.
And that would be...
On the day of the incident, there was a power outage, a blackout in one part of the temple. And as I recall, the crime scene was in that sector. The power outage must be why the victim's field of vision went dark. I apologize for neglecting to tell the court this detail. I'm afraid it slipped my mind.
Yes, I never played the game. It's more if you notice something somehow. Yeah, absolutely go for it in that case, Pizza. Or rather, you knew all along and are only letting it slip now that it's convenient, Pain.
The power outage knocked out both the lights and the speakers.
Oh, there was a blackout there, was there?
Well now, that explains everything, does it not?
What do you mean, Your Benevolence? Please share your thoughts with us, if you would.
The blackout occurred when the accused and the victim were faced with one another.
I think Kecleon already gets what's wrong here.
Fearing the victim would flee under the cover of darkness, the accused swiftly brought his weapon down on the victim's head.
I see. That makes perfect sense, Your Benevolence.
So the victim was struck after the lights went out.
Bingo, Kecleon. Got it before I even got back to the seance.
The depth of your insight is awe-inspiring, Your Benevolence. Give her a hand, everyone!
Well done! Long may you live and prosper! Hey, I want to live long and prosper too!
Enough applause! You flatter me.
Now, Your Benevolence, in light of this new information...
I think you would enjoy these games if you like that sort of thing, Kecleon.
In light of this new information...
Yes, of course. I will alter my insight.
One can safely assume the accused struck the victim the moment after... Yeah. So much for my inconsistency. At least I was able to draw out some new info. And with new info comes a chance to find new inconsistencies. Now to compare the insights with the vision again and see what else I can dig up. So, as Kecleon pointed out, the power goes out here. We can still hear the Song of Ceremony. It can't be coming through the speakers because the speakers would have been knocked out with the lights.
Objection!
Again, well spotted, Kecleon. Yes, I finally found it! This is the gaping hole I've been looking for! Your Benevolence, as impressive as your Spirit Communion power is, it's not infallible.
You never know when to stop talking, do you? I hope you realize your words are an insult to all adherents of Kurainism.
defense! Watch what you say! If you don't mind that tongue of yours, you won't have one left to mind!
It's certainly not my intention to insult spirit mediums. But maybe I'm not the one who needs to learn when to stop talking.
What malarkey!
I believe you said a few moments ago that the victim could hear the Song of Ceremony thanks to the temple's speakers? But then, how do you explain how the victim could still hear the Song of Ceremony even after the power went out? Oh!
Easy, she's met Joe Biden.
Yes, he does like the word malarkey. This contradiction of facts can only mean that the Song of Ceremony Mr. Roll heard was not coming from the speakers.
What? Impossible!
What are you saying? That the song he heard was coming directly from the performance hall?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's the only possible explanation.
But the scene of the crime is nowhere near the performance hall.
Right. The song couldn't make it all the way to the treasure room. Not unless...
You mean to say...
Yes, the treasure room was not the actual scene of the crime. It must have been somewhere else, somewhere closer to the performance hall.
What?
You can't be serious!
There is a glaring contradiction in the claims of her benevolence and the prosecution. Therefore, the defense insists that this case be thoroughly re-examined.
What? No!
This is completely unprecedented. An inconsistency in her benevolence's insights? Unbelievable.
Heed not his forked tongue, your majesty. These are but the claims of a corrupt lawyer, a feeble ruse from a feeble mind.
He closed his eyes before being hit, before the power outage. The blinking. There was a light flicker. That doesn't quite look like someone closing his eyes like that.
A feeble ruse from... These are but the claims of a corrupt lawyer, a feeble ruse from a feeble mind.
But the contradiction revealed by the defense is undeniable. We can't just turn a blind eye to it.
But the defense's assertion is in the end meaningless. Even if the location of the murder turned out to be different, it doesn't change what we've seen of the moment of the murder. Indeed. The accused is standing right there in front of the victim. Furthermore, the murder weapon remains raised above his head. My insights still stand.
I hate to admit it, but she's right. The seance vision still makes the situation look really grim for Albie.
I doubt even the defense can dream up an explanation as to why the accused had his hands up over his head.
Oh, that one I can answer. Well, this defense dares to dream of making it out of this nightmare alive.
You what? You still insist on trying to tear down my insights, do you? You'd better be prepared to back up your claim. Remember what will happen to that tongue of yours if we find you are just wagging it.
Of course I can back up my claim, just as soon as I think of something.
You appear to be fully prepared, defense. As the embodiment of this court, I give you permission to try and prove your claim, as long as you're willing to stake your life on it.
I concur, your majesty. Prepare the tongue shears! Chop chop!
Chop chop!
Yes, let's have the bailiff fetch them. I think I saw a suitable pair in the basement. Chop chop!
Stop! Stop!
I hear that lying lawyers have several tongues to spare. I'm sure he won't miss one.
Yikes! These people are actually serious! I'm rather attached to my tongue. Think, Phoenix, think! Other than to raise a weapon, why would Albie have held his hands up like that? Yeah, they kind of give this one to you. Aha! So that's why! The reason the defendant had his hands up over his head can be explained by something in the crime photo. What explains why Albie had his hands raised above his head? Gun. Can't wait for the trilogy release so you can finally play this. I think you'll enjoy it too, Nibble, yeah. As in the seance vision, I witnessed the defendant raise both of his hands over his head yesterday.
You did? Where did you see such a thing?
When the police had their guns trained on him as they made their arrest.
Oh, are you saying?
The victim was a security guard, and an armed one at that. The defense proposes that the victim had pointed his firearm at Albie, and that's why the defendant's hands were raised in the air.
Bokunka!
the seance vision could be interpreted that way.
This is not possible!
It can't be.
Not bad for a total knockout. Dare that lawyer devil go against your benevolence!
He's no better than that traitorous snake, Dirk!
Traitorous snake? Dirk, who's that?
Bye, Rafa.
No, I can't believe it. Oh, she got up quick.
A contradiction in one of my insights? There has to be some kind of mistake. I won't accept it. That's right, Your Benevolence, and I won't accept it either. It goes against all we hold sacred. Throw him in jail immediately for lèse majesty.
What? Yeah, you said it. Throw him in jail.
Yes, make him pay for the way he disrespected Her Benevolence.
Ugh. These people are definitely not my fans right now. That's right. Exterminate him. Yeah, she made multiple mistakes.
Peace, give me peace! I said peace! Now, everyone, please calm down.
Is he?
Your Majesty, please assign this black-hearted attorney a suitable punishment.
No, I can't charge him with lèse majesty.
What?
What? But why not, Your Majesty?
He was simply following the proper procedure for defending the accused. There's nothing unlawful about that.
But, Your Majesty, don't you want to wrap this trial up quickly? Why not just give your verdict? Then you can go home and make it up to your wife.
We can't end the trial now, not when we just learned new information about the case.
What? Your Majesty, not you too. You would honestly entertain the idea that my insight contains a contradiction?
Truly, it is shocking. In the 20-plus years since the DC Act went into effect, such a thing has never occurred. To be honest, I didn't want to believe it either. With his life on the line.
And yep, there's the admission. Yeah, Pizza's right. I don't think the judge probably doesn't know where he stands on this either at this point. And hey, that's progress.
With his life on the line, the defense pointed out an inconsistency, and it is our duty to scrutinize it to the satisfaction of the law.
You dare go against the royal priestess, you non-believer?
No, my faith is as strong as ever, but I have a duty to make a fair ruling in this trial. If you insist on interfering with that process, Your Benevolence, I'm afraid I must request your removal from this courtroom, royal priestess or not.
What? I'll have you know!
Your Benevolence! Please acquiesce in this, Your Benevolence.
If looks could kill.
I won't forget this offense, Barbed Head! I do not admit defeat! I won't!
Bailiff, please see Her Benevolence out.
Your Mitama will face due retribution in the Twilight Realm. The demons there they'll pluck the barbs right off your stupid head. I hope your suffering will be super duper painful, and I hope they throw you into a lake of burning fire. Yeah, and then.
Boom. I guess she's still just a teenager after all. She's 14, yes.
Now then, defense. Mr. Light, was it?
That's right, Your Majesty. Phoenix Wright.
Of course, Mr. Wright. My apologies. Well, now that we have this newly uncovered fact, I suggest we proceed with arguments.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Yes, but do not misunderstand me. This doesn't mean I trust you completely. I'll be keeping a close eye on you, so don't even think about lying to this court.
I understand, Your Majesty. Whew, maybe now we can finally run a real trial.
Arguments, Your Majesty? Very well. I accept your challenge.
Huh? What's with him? What's with him?
Oh, the look on your face, Mr. Wright. It's just too hilarious.
What's so funny, Mr. Payne?
The defense still doesn't get it. The truth he unearthed is going to bury him and his case instead.
What do you mean by that, prosecutor?
I told you it's Chief Prosecutor.
Yes, because that's the point to focus on right now.
The defense is digging its own grave. Consider this, Your Majesty. Why would the victim, a security guard, point a gun at the accused?
Oh!
Oh, indeed, because the accused was about to commit a theft. It's the only logical explanation.
What? That does sound pretty logical, actually.
It doesn't help the accused situation at all. If anything, it makes him look even more guilty.
Yes, I have to agree.
Allow me spell out this truth the defense didn't bother to think through. Mr. Roll came across the accused just as he was trying to steal the treasure. The guard pointed his gun at the accused, and just when the power went out...
Theft would still be treason, Kecleon. In this case.
The guard pointed his gun at the accused, and just when the power went out, the accused murdered the victim and hid his body in the treasure room.
How would a 9-year-old child be able to drag around a body that big?
A hand truck for moving...
Oh. Of course he's on that.
A hand truck for moving heavy treasure around is stored in the treasure room.
Although, U.S. law says that any death caused during a theft also leads to the thief being charged with murder. This isn't the U.S., this is Kurain, Kecleon.
Moving is stored in the treasure room. The accused could have easily moved the body with that.
And after all that hard work to knock down those insights, backed into the all-familiar corner once more.
Mr. Wright, do you have a rebuttal?
I'm drawing a total blank here.
I hope you're ready to climb that scaffold.
I asked you a question, defense.
I got nothing. I can't think of any grounds for an objection. You saw a courtroom with a lopsided justice system and got them mixed up. I really can't blame you there, Kecleon. Can't think of any grounds for an objection. The only thing to do at this point is ask the defendant himself what happened. But I don't know if Albie will cooperate with me or not. Albie? Will you tell us what really happened?
You don't have to say anything, accused. Fall for his evil trap and you'll only dirty your own soul.
Albie, you have to tell me the truth. I can't help you unless you do.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry.
Why? Why won't he trust me? Is this it? Is this the end for both of us? Maya, I'm sorry.
I never met a real lawyer before. Everybody always told me they're bad people who help dirty criminals go free. I never thought a lawyer would actually try to help me, would actually believe in me, would risk his own life for me. I never would have even imagined it.
Albie!
So, that's why I lied, to try and save myself. But I'm not gonna lie anymore. If you believe in me enough to put your life on the line, then I'm gonna believe in you too.
What?!
Allow me to explain!
Now we're talking. Time to finally get to the bottom of things.
To be honest, I went into the treasure room lots of times to look at the treasure box.
Even though the temple told you weren't allowed to go anywhere near it?
Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Roll even saw me once and scolded me. But that box is so beautiful, the way it glows in the dark. I couldn't help myself.
Wait, it glows in the dark?
That's right, it's covered in this special mineral called fluorinite that makes it glow. It's absolutely breathtaking. It's really a shame they don't put it on display for the public. Can you imagine how many people would go on night tours of the temple if they did?
If only he applied such passion to telling me the truth earlier. Treasure box updated in the court record.
On the day of the incident, I was on my way to the treasure room again, when I ran into Mr. Roll on the great stairs.
So those were not the treasure room stairs in the seance vision?
No, they were the great stairs that connect to the hallway.
Makes sense. The vision wasn't clear enough to show us what was at the top of the stairs. Okay, good. We have a map. It glows in the dark and blinds anyone who opens it. Is it a demon core? I thought the demon core blinded anyone who closed it.
All of a sudden, Mr. Roll drew his gun and threatened me with it.
You are close though, Pizza, I think.
I quickly put my hands up. Mr. Roll, he acted so scary. For some reason, he had a scarf over his mouth. I couldn't read his expression at all. Just then, the power went out.
It kills most people who are near it. Yeah, fair, Kecleon. Blindness is the least of your problems if you open it. Yeah, fair, Pizza.
So I took that chance to hightail it out of there. I ran for my life. Even now, when I try to think back on it, all I can remember are the gun and the piercing look in Mr. Roll's eyes. That must have been when I dropped the notice scroll.
Which means someone else brought it to the treasure room along with Mr. Roll's body. Did Mr. Roll say anything to you when you ran into him on the stairs? What is it, Albie?
I have no idea why, but he asked me a strange question. Did you steal it? He said.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't say all this before. I didn't think anybody would believe me. A grand speech! One that confirmed my suspicions that you were the thief!
Objection!
That might have just been the victim's misunderstanding.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say. The victim must have had good reason to be suspicious of the accused.
Why does every new piece of information have to seem so incriminating?
Shadow, what do I do, Shadow? And what better reason to suspect the boy than seeing the treasure box in his hands? In the course of his rounds, the victim must have noticed that the treasure had been stolen. And then, just after that, he ran into the accused, Albie Urguide. No! That's not what happened. Therefore, the one who stole the treasure and killed the victim can be none other than the accused. Dougie.
What now? Get everyone else's names. Ruff. Oh, Kecleon, not all of the names are puns. Some of them are Sanskrit words. Rafa's name is one of those cases.
Hey, Shadow, down, boy!
Well, what do we have here?
I'm sorry about this. This is my dog, Shadow.
You nearly gave me a heart attack!
So that's what was making his bag move.
Can't you quiet that yappy mutt down? Shadow says that Mr. Roll made a mistake.
You can understand him?
Don't tell me this is a surprise witness for the defense.
Oh, I can think of one, Pizza, but I don't think it's appropriate for some of the audiences here now. I'll tell you some other time.
Don't tell me this is a surprise witness for the defense.
I beg your pardon! You're not thinking of cross-examining an animal, are you?
Of course not, Your Majesty! Not this time, anyway. For context, for those of you who don't know, Phoenix has in the past cross-examined a parrot and an orca.
Whew. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I thought I'd have to reassess my assessment of your sanity for a second there.
And he won both of those cases. I think I'd better reassess my strategy. And fast. I have to somehow show that somebody else could have struck the victim, or were sunk. While it's true that the defendant was standing in front of the victim when he died, it doesn't mean somebody else couldn't have struck the victim at that time.
If you're going to go that far, then I hope this means you have another angle of approach ready.
Exactly! I mean, who but the accused standing front and center could have done it? Unless you can back up your claim, it's nothing more than conjecture.
Okay, come on, Phoenix. I know I can think up something convincing. Where else could the victim have been struck from? How about behind?
Take that!
Love that writing there. Which part, Kecleon? With the defendant standing in front of the victim. Isn't it possible that the victim could have been struck from behind? Yeah, this game is, like, peak in that regard, Kecleon.
From behind, you say? I see. Yes, I suppose it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Good. Now at least I have some breathing room. Oh, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that part. Well spotted.
But who do you suppose it could have been?
Oh, the true culprit, naturally. The one who actually committed the theft and murder.
The true culprit? I suppose you have a true timeline of events to go along with that?
I should have known I'd have to explain everything. Alright, if we assume the true culprit struck the victim from behind, then that means... After going to the treasure room and stealing the treasure, the true culprit tried to escape. But then Mr. Roll appeared, making his rounds. I imagine the culprit then quickly hid in the storeroom at the other end of the hallway.
You're grasping at straws, Mr. Wright. Admit it. You have nothing but baseless conjecture.
I'm gonna look for something to base it on right now. Albie? When you ran into Mr. Roll in the hallway, was there anyone around the storeroom area?
I don't know. There might have been somebody there, but I couldn't see. I was only halfway down the stairs, so I couldn't see the ends of that hallway.
I see. Swing and a miss.
Oh! Shadow says that someone was there.
I see. Thank you for that. Too bad his testimony is inadmissible. You think this is a joke? Maybe the defendant didn't happen to see this other person. But that doesn't mean the true culprit couldn't have been there in the hallway.
Your desperate floundering is getting hard to watch. But I will enjoy watching you sink.
What are you talking about?
Unfortunately for you, only the accused and the victim were there in that hallway at the time of the incident.
How can you continue to make that assertion?
Because there was a witness. A very reliable eyewitness.
What?
Your Majesty, the prosecution would like to call its witness to the stand.
Calling an eyewitness to the stand, It's been decades since that's happened.
And unlike the defense's witness, you can rest assured that there are no pets involved.
That was a low blow. Yeah, exactly, Kecleon. Only 2 people were there, said the third person who was there to see it. I shouldn't have to spell this out for you. You'll probably figure it out very quickly, even not having seen the intro cutscene.
Very well, I'll allow it. And now for something we've not heard in quite some time. Bring the witness to the stand!
Dogs are people, too. Yeah, but we only have Albie's word to go on what he's saying. Dog bias.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
This is the part everyone's been waiting for. Peace, love, and understanding's the name. I'm like Temple's head monk, can you dig?
Oh, if it is an instructor understanding, you're the eyewitness?
Instructor?
Not only is Mr. Andy Standing Temple's head monk, but he's also a renowned Damalan expert.
Sorry to have to ask, but what's a Damalan? Check it! Here she is, my sweet serenader, my one and only. Groovy, right? But you heard our sultry sounds once before, brother. When the dragon and tiger battle. I don't know what he's actually... I don't know the actual language that he's singing that in. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's made up. Kurainese. one could say, hey, maybe. That's the song from the Dance of Devotion. I promise you that is not where that's not, it's not all gonna be like that. It gets better from here. Right on, brother. The Song of Ceremony. Yes, it's this guy. Playing this tune together is a precious gig for me and my girl here. You did? The Song of Ceremony, the song that was playing at the time of the murder. Oh, Holy Mother, may the righteous sounds of my Damalan serve as my offering to you.
Wonderful, a great performance as always.
This is my thing, you know, my bag. I make instruments speak, baby. By the by, Magistrate Pops, no Damalan class today?
No, I'm afraid this trial has gone into overtime, thanks to the lawyer over there.
The class the judge wanted to attend was a Damalan lesson? Well, you know what they say, baby. Never trust the lawyer man. But transgressors against the Holy Mother have to be brought to justice.
Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Understanding. As the treasure's keeper, you must have been shocked to learn it had been stolen.
Yeah, man, that was not cool. Keeping the treasure safe is one of your duties, Mr. Understanding? That's right, brother. This here's the one and only treasure box key. And I keep it on me at all times, can you dig? But the sneaky thief went and cracked open that sucker anyway. Total bummer, man. So that's the key to the treasure box, is it? You know it, baby. It's called the Magatama key, and it's a historical artifact to boot. It's been passed down from head monk to head monk, temple to temple. The Magatama key, huh? Sole key for opening the treasure box. Auntie Standin keeps it on his person at all times. And now someone's jacked the treasure on my watch. It's a real buzzkill, man. How am I ever gonna face Her Holiness again? Oh, Holy Mother, please find it in your infinite mercy to forgive me. Please guide this lost and humble lamb. Why do I always get the far out ones?
Mr. Understanding, you witnessed the accused and the victim heading to the treasure room?
You know it, baby. Best believe I scoped that tiny transgressor.
Would you please give the court your testimony regarding what you saw?
To bring justice against the transgressor, man? Yes, of course. I'll do all I can. In the name of Her Holiness, I vow to sing, naught but the truth I swear to bring. Hit me! Here we go. What I saw, baby. After the morning dance of devotion, to go back to my chamber, I got the notion. Don't you know my chamber's on the way to the temple's treasure room? Hey, hey, hey. All any small footsteps I can quite clearly hear if anyone to the treasure room goes near. Albie was the only one. Albie was the only one. Before the blackout, one other than roll. Only Albie to the treasure room did stroll. Tell me I was hallucinating just now. Like, can you believe Mr. Roll bit the big one after that? Harsh, man. To be fair, I'm improvising how the syllables match to the beat for this part, at least. Can you believe Mr. Roll bit the big one after that? Harsh, man.
I share your sentiments. You were the one who discovered the victim's body, weren't you, Mr. Understanding?
What? You found the body as well? He really is a key witness, then. That's right, brother. After the blackout, I went to reset the breaker and give power back to the people. The circuit box is near my chamber, so I'm always the man for the job. You feel me? That's his chamber. That's the breaker.
The breakers are in the first floor hallway in front of the storeroom.
On the way, I got a whiff of something funky. Blood, man. Really harshed my mellow. Oh, by the way, Pizza, to my knowledge, the audience in question has now gone to sleep. So, actually, no. I'll probably be showing her the recording of this, so I won't say it out loud here on this broadcast. It's a joke about Rafa's name. I knew something wasn't kosher, so I swung by the treasure room to see what's what. And it was like, whoa, man, there was poor Mr. Roll dead as a doornail. Temple diagram updated to show Understanding's chamber.
In the interval between the end of the Dance of Devotion and the blackout, the only ones who went to the scene of the crime were the victim and the accused. So you see, Mr. Understanding's unassailable account is what led to the accused's arrest.
Hold it! Isn't it possible that the murder took place before the end of the Dance of Devotion?
I'm afraid that's not possible. The victim was in the performance hall until the very end of the dance.
He was?
Would you like some proof? How's this? A photo taken by a tourist of the morning Dance of Devotion.
My, what graceful dancing! I can almost hear the sound of Mr. Understanding's Damalon now.
Payne's right. There's Mr. Roll, on duty.
Never underestimate the incredible Payne!
Ugh. So in addition to Rafa's insights, he had backup evidence lined up too, huh? Dance of Devotion photo added to the court record. As head monk, my monks in training are like my own kids, like family. Can you dig it? I should have taught Albie better, man. Before Her Holiness the Holy Mother, oh, Albie, confess your sins, my young brother. Sorry, that one caught me off guard.
Head Monk Understanding, I didn't kill Mr. Roll.
I think Shadow knows what's up. There. Just keeping the owl off my back so that I don't have to, stop the stream.
So I don't have anything to confess to the Holy Mother.
What? Bogus, little man. Your faith is weak like a wet paper bag. Are you feeling me? Spare the rod, hey, baby. Spoil the child, not baby. I don't know what the deal is with Damalon. No, it's just a funny name for his guitar thing. Her Holiness is magnanimous, son. If you confess your guilt, she'll forgive you in the Twilight Realm. Yes, that was advocating child abuse, Kecleon. It's not the worst thing this country has done. I don't suppose she could forgive him in this realm first.
Defense, please begin your cross-examination.
If it wasn't obvious to you before, Kecleon, it should be now. What this guy's deal is. It's not abuse if they're a criminal. Okay, after the morning dance devotion, Neglecting Chamber got the notion. Don't you know my chamber's on the way to the temple's treasure room? Is it? Huh, it is. Okay. Any small footsteps I can quite clearly hear if anyone to the treasure room goes near. Albie was the only one, Albie was the only one. Before the blackout, one other than Roll, only Albie to the treasure room did stroll. I'm not seeing anything obvious, so let's start pressing. I have a question. Lay it on me, man.
How dare you interrupt the performance of the great Peace, Love, and Understanding? I was really enjoying that.
Sorry, but, you know, there's something about that name I can't put my finger on.
What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding?
You had a question for me, brother. You were playing something during the Dance of Devotion, weren't you? You know it, baby. I was playing my beautiful girl right here, this Damala. In offering to her holiness, I play the music and the singers sing the song of ceremony.
Mr. Understanding's playing is the best in the kingdom. It must please her holiness greatly. Now then, could you continue with your testimony, Mr. Understanding?
For the Holy Mother, I keep on trucking. This Damalan still needs some plucking. Hold it. I said hold it. Hold it. It's not picking me up anymore.
Hold it!
Huh. Could you please point out one more time where your chamber is located? Yeah, man, no sweat. My chamber is on the way from the performance hall to the treasure room, so anyone going to the treasure room would have to pass by Understanding's chamber. Give peace, loving a chance. Any small footsteps I can quickly hear?
Hold it!
Okay. Even from inside your chamber, you can still hear what's going on outside? Tenpool Temple is a groovy old building built from Mother Nature's finest. You can hear a pin drop through the wooden walls, you dig? In an old building like that, I guess the walls must be pretty thin.
And that's how Mr. Understanding could know the culprit's movements. It's all thanks to the Holy Mother's divine protection.
Right on, my man! I dedicate this testimony to Her Holiness.
Hold it!
How could you tell it was Albie just from the sound of some footsteps? Albie is practically family, man. The smooth groove of his shoes are easy to pick out. How do you know he went to the treasure room? Didn't you think it was possible he went to the storeroom at the other end of the hall? No way, man. I saw him with my own 2 eyes. You saw him? In the treasure room. This you can believe. My beepers beep the sneaky sneak I'll be.
And tell us where it is you stood when you saw the accused, if you would.
When I heard the footsteps, I looked out the window. From my window, I could see the window of the first floor hallway across the courtyard, you dig? And through that window, I saw Albie walking into the treasure room. Should I have him add this statement to his testimony? Yes. Could you please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Understanding? You got it, brother. Through the window I did spy little Albie with my own eye. No, you didn't. And there you have it, Pizza. You were right. This did end up being important. Objection!
Objection!
There's something off about that, Mr. Understanding. My music is off? I'm sorry you feel that way, man. Maybe this vibe ain't topping the charts where you're from. What's your poison? Orchestra? Jazz? Soul? There's nothing wrong with my ears, witness, but something's not quite right with your eyes. Mr. Understanding, you've been lying to this court. Now why would I lie? I got nothing to hide. Truth and truth alone is all I sing. Lying, y'all, now lying ain't my thing. I contend otherwise. Do you recognize this object, Mr. Understanding? It's a temple notice, man. What of it? In this notice, the following instruction to the temple monks is written. All of the hallway shutters will remain shut for today's dance of devotion. What you talking about, Phoenix? I'm talking about the fact that from your chamber, you couldn't have seen anyone going into the treasure room through those shutters. Looks like you didn't get the memo. No way, I don't believe it, man. If you don't believe it, why don't you read the notice for yourself? Let's see. Something will something for something. Is that your idea of reading? I'm not so hot at reading Kurainese, man. I usually get one of the other monks to read stuff for me, you know? Doesn't that make your duties as head monk a little difficult? Hey, cut me some slack, man! I only moved to this country 6 months ago. That's quite recent, isn't it? So, how did someone who's only been here 6 months become head monk of a temple?
How little you understand. Religious faith can't be measured in months or years. I've only been an adherent of Koraianism for 3 months myself. The Holy Mother's teachings really spoke to me, prompting me to stay in this country.
Shoot. Or was it the fact that there are no lawyers here that spoke to you? Mr. Payne, I know just how you feel, my man. Her Holiness's teaching spoke to me, too. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Brother Dumb and Brother Dumber. Well, I know why Payne suddenly became a believer in Koraianism, but could Understanding have had an ulterior motive for becoming a believer, too? Mr. Understanding, were you really in your chamber as you claim? What? Hey, be chill, brother. Weren't you instead somewhere else?
Mr. Wright, what kind of nonsense are you spouting now?
According to Mr. Understanding's testimony, he saw Albie with his own eyes. Therefore, is it really nonsense to suggest he could have seen Albie from somewhere else?
Well,
Do you have a theory, Defense? Do you know where Mr. Understanding was, if not in his chamber?
If he wasn't in his room, then... If Albie had gone down the hallway towards the treasure room, there are only a few places he could have seen Albie from. I do have a theory, Your Majesty. Let's say the witness really did see Albie going towards the treasure room. What then? The defense proposes this is the only place he could have been to see Albie go down that hall. Right by the breaker.
Take that!
There? But you just suggested earlier that that's where the true culprit might have been.
True, but no matter how I look at it, this is the only place Understanding could have been.
Mr. Foreign Lawyer, just don't tell me. Are you accusing Mr. Understanding of being the true culprit in this case?
Absolutely yes. Yes, Your Majesty. I contend there's a strong possibility this witness is the murderer.
how dare you be so disrespectful? First you criticize her benevolence's insides, now you accuse the head monk of murder?
Objection!
This is the only place the witness could have been. If he was here, he could have struck the victim down from behind and moved his body into the treasure room. Thank you, Sparkle, for the hydrate.
That's nothing but groundless conjecture!
And there's one more thing. Do you remember what was said in the opening argument?
The opening argument?
During that argument, it was suggested that Albie used his position as monk in training to get his hands on the treasure.
That's right, and what of it?
Well, why don't we try this twist on for size? The thief used his position as head monk of the temple to get a hold of the treasure.
What?
What? You joshing me, man? The key to the treasure box has been passed down from head monk to head monk. What better position to be in if you want to steal the treasure?
You can't possibly be serious!
Does this mean you're claiming that Mr. Understanding's oath of faith is nothing but a lie designed to get him close to the treasure?
The witness hasn't been truthful in his testimony to this court, so clearly he isn't above lying. didn't you swear to the Holy Mother that not but the truth would you bring? In light of that, I don't think it's unfair to call your faith into question.
This is ridiculous! Are there no limits to what this lawyer will say? I mean, lie is such a strong word. Maybe it was just a mistake? Hold it!
Enough with the nervous wreck routine, prosecutor. You're just embarrassing yourself, man.
What?
What was that, Mr. Understanding?
Lawyer man, you really are the lowest of the low. You've gone and said something I can't forgive. Oh, here we go. You called my belief into question, my faith in the Holy Mother. And nobody gets away with that! Here's the part we've all been waiting for, comrades.
What on earth? That music is making my ears bleed!
So, little background for you all. This game has been out for 7 years. People have always wanted somebody to sing this guy's testimony from here on. I am here to deliver.
This is the music of my soul! Death to the liar! I'm the Twilight Messenger, can't you tell? Gonna take this liar straight to hell. He's dripping with lies, running with Philistines. I'm gonna send that lawyer to the guillotines.
And now for something completely different.
That blinkety-blunk music just wouldn't let me express my rage!
Your rage, huh? Isn't the real source of your anger having your lie exposed? If there's enough demand, I'll rehearse this a bit more and do like a more solid like start to finish version of this. But for now, you get the full dress rehearsal, so to speak.
You just don't get it. If I lied, it's because you drove me to it. All sniffing around and suspicious and throwing out false accusations.
Sorry, but as a lawyer, I'm afraid that's my job.
Yeah, well, lawyers are crap. Keep making noise and I'll have to use my partner here on you.
I'm the one making noise.
Hey, so you want to know the truth, huh? Think you can handle the truth, do ya? Fine. Let's see you try. Feel the heat of my brutal death beat. Savage, right? Sweating bullets, ain't ya? The screams of my soul are gonna make a mosh pit out of this beta gallery!
Wow, they're very into it. Did he really just win the court over with that performance?
Yo, geezer, I got something to testify! Get ready for the howling of my soul! I call this chart topper soul-screaming truth!
And this is why I said I'm gonna need lots of water. Here we go.
The priestess's dance had come to an end. To the music storeroom my way I did wend. Death, truth is what you dread. Hear me shred. From my small knot in front of the store, I saw Albie creep to the treasure room. And trailing from behind, front of the set, I saw Patrol after Albie he went. Me and my girl here, innocent and sweet, back by the storeroom, can't be beat. Power ticket to midnight. Oh, hang on.
I'll try that again.
Then I went the power ticket to midnight, blacker than blackest black, robbing all sight.
I lost my place in the music.
Yeah, baby, let that soul metal flow!
Thank you, Pizza. Thank you so much.
What is that music? I've never heard anything like it. It's so fast, it's making my head spin. This is Damalon Metal! Hey yo, Geezer, how are those ears ringing?
I don't know much about music, but I've got chills and they're multiplying.
You scared, lawyer man? Run away, fast as you can!
What a wonderful rhythm! A perfect accompaniment for further deliberations. Now, Mr. Understanding, what did you go to the music storeroom for?
Hey, I went to put my Damalon away. She's my precious partner. Gotta give her a good rest after playing in the right.
But then why did you lie before?
Because you'd send me to hell!
Huh?
We all know about lawyers and their lying, lawyerly ways. Am I right, people? If I admitted I went to the storeroom, he'd have drummed up a false charge on me. I didn't want to get sent to hell. What do you say?
He's right, that's so would have happened.
Now I see why that Defense Culpability Act was passed. You feel me, Garain?
Yeah, you said it!
Is it too much to ask for a low-key trial?
Now are you punks ready to rock or what?
There we go. Okay. I've untangled my headset cord. So now I'll be able to stand up and, like, actually sing properly.
I can't hear you. I said you're ready to teach this lying lawyer how we do things around here?
Yeah!
Alright, then I'm gonna lay it on you one more time. The screaming truth of my soul.
Here we go. Soul Screaming Truth. Priestess's dad said, come to an end to the music storeroom my way. I did when death, truth is what you dread. Hear me shred. From my spot in front of the storeroom, I saw a big creep to the treasure room. I trailed from behind out of the scent. I saw patrol after all me he went. Me and my girl here, innocent and sweet, back by the storeroom can be beat. Then I went the power ticket to midnight, blacker than blackest black, robbing all sight. Okay, let's see. Let's start pressing. You say you went to the music storeroom. But how do we know you didn't go to the treasure room to steal the treasure instead?
And on what grounds would you base that accusation? Got anything to show for it?
He's right. I don't really have any proof. And yet... Well, you can't prove that you didn't go to the treasure room either. You stole the treasure and were ready to make your getaway when you saw Mr. Roll. So you panicked and ran into the music storeroom. Isn't that right? Why do I feel like I'm being stabbed by icy stares from every direction?
The silence is your answer, lawyer man. This audience knows the score. Just what we needed. A moment of silence to bid this lawyer's baseless claim goodbye.
Why do they have to hate lawyers so much in this country?
I said it before and I'll say it again, lawyer man. After the priestess dance, I went to the music storeroom.
Now let's see what he says about this. So what exactly do you mean by death truth?
It's the blade of truth that's gonna send your lawyer soul to hell! A sea of blood will be the last thing you ever see.
I'm not sure I want to get what he's saying. I'm not sure I want to get what he's saying.
I don't expect a bobblehead like you to understand. Either you get it and you feel it, or you don't. Simple as that.
Oh. Alright, we're widening the Spamton. Okay. You saw Albie creep to the treasure room. How did Albie appear at the time?
Come to think of it, he was glancing around all shifty-like. You could tell he was up to no good. Shady, I tell ya.
What's that saying about people who live in glass houses?
Well, he was about to steal the treasure, so it only stands to reason he'd look first.
The defendant admitted he was sneaking in to see the treasure box. Wouldn't that be why he was looking around?
What's that, people? Only the Holy Mother knows the truth, you say? Wrong! Peace Lovin' knows the score, baby! From my lips to our Holy Mother's ear, an artist only sings what he saw there.
In other words, my reasoning isn't good enough for God Boy here.
And what did you see next, Mr. Understanding?
Something tells me this is gonna be a spectacular waste of time, but what do you mean by hound on the scent?
What? You don't get it? It's always the same, y'all. Lyrics questioned without mercy. The more famous the song, the greater the controversy.
It wasn't your lyrical sense I was questioning.
I say hound on the scent like a hunting dog, cause you don't roll as a guard, and
Uh-oh, here we go.
the inspiration came to me suddenly like a flash.
That's okay. You don't have to explain your lyrics anymore.
Hey, you're the one who asked.
I knew I shouldn't have asked.
Mr. Understanding, you're still on the stand, so please stick to your testimony. You can explain your lyrics to me later in Doppelon class. Fine, have it your way, geezer. Show must go on, slash and thrash!
What exactly were you doing in the music storeroom? What?
There, get the picture!
Picture? What picture?
Mr. Understanding is requesting that you not ask him the same thing over and over. Hey, geezer, you got it in one. Take a bow, baby!
How the heck did he understand that?
What was I doing in the music storeroom, you ask? I already told you. I was taking care of my partner in crime here, getting ready to put her away. See, would you believe it?
Out like power. Where were you when the power outage occurred?
Like I said, I was in the music storeroom. My girl had been sounding a little off, so I had to get her back in tune.
Isn't it true that you were actually in the hallway at that time?
The hallway, you say? Why would I be in the hallway?
You were waiting for Mr. Roll to come back from his patrol of the treasure room. Now that he discovered that the treasure had been stolen, you were going to kill him! Here we go.
Boy, you're meant just as always, so full of bull, spewing noxious lies and bull in the wool. Filthy liar through and through, and I ain't never ever gonna forgive you.
Utter lies with no evidence, as always. His claims are just tenuous.
Hey, nice prosecutor, I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Someone stop their jam session, please!
You've made your assertions clear, defense, but your argument is rather unsubstantiated.
That's not good. What's so funny, peace-loving understanding? Nevertheless, the possibility is still there. You can't deny the witness could have killed the victim under cover of darkness.
You're forgetting one very important thing.
Huh?
It seems you've forgotten that the outage happened by chance, not design.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. I did forget about that.
It's not like the witness planned the outage so he could take advantage of the darkness.
Oh, it totally is.
And without darkness, it would have been hard to sneak up behind Mr. Roll and kill him.
You're right. Even I would notice someone coming up behind me. Well, defense, what do you have to say about that?
What can I say about that?
Mr. Rye, your claim is completely without merit, unless you want to argue that the witness somehow magically made the outage happen.
Well, maybe not magically, but... Wait, that's it! Yes, exactly, Pizza. This is obvious. I contend the witness could have made the power outage happen, with no magic necessary.
What?
You have a theory, defense?
All he had to do was make use of something shown on this diagram. What did the witness use to make the power outage happen? The breaker! The witness was in the storeroom. The circuit box is on the storeroom end of the hallway. There's nothing really magical about turning off the breaker, wouldn't you say?
Nice try, but that theory doesn't hold water, lawyer man.
And why not?
You're saying I turned the breaker off and then snuck up on Mr. Roll and hit him? In pitch black darkness with no source of light whatsoever. That what you're saying? With the lights off, that hallway is blacker than 100 midnights. You can't see the hand in front of your face! How can anybody commit murder like that?
And you're 2 for 2 pizza. Or is it 3 for 3? I've lost count. You're doing pretty well.
Unless was somebody standing right in front of the victim like the accused.
I hate when he's right. But I can't just let his point stand. Well, maybe the victim was holding something that served as a guide.
A guide through the darkness?
Something! That's more than a little vague, wouldn't you agree?
You ain't gonna move this room with a half-baked hunch like that, bro. You gotta hit him hard, really make him feel it, you hear me? Just like my verse, baby! Woo! Woo!
Well, I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm afraid I don't understand the witnesses' lyrics very well either. But in a trial, your arguments have to be clear and precise. Let's see some of that clarity and precision now, defense. What do I do? Can you present to us something that could have served as a guide through the darkness? Plus, in the vision, you were able to see Albie, so it couldn't have been pitch black. No, we saw the power go out before the guard got whacked, pizza. That much adds up. Yes, I can. Because there has to be something. Alright, let's see what you have, defense. What could the victim have been holding that served as a guide through the darkness? Well, oh yeah, never mind. Take that!
Take that!
I believe the victim was holding the treasure box.
Huh? Have you gone mad?
Well, the box glows in the dark, so you could use it as a sort of beacon. Well, I guess you're right.
But why in the world would the victim be holding the treasure box?
Oh, well, because your guess is as good as mine. What is this lawyer talking about?
Nonsense and lies yet again!
Just give him the death penalty already! Is there no way to win them over?
Defense. Are we going to be needing those tongue shears after all?
No, your majesty.
Yeah, man, do it! Then we can jam out to this lawyer's shrieks of pain! Ha ha ha! Better get those screams of agony out now, lawyer man, while you still have a tongue to scream with!
I guess I'd better come up with a reason. No pressure or anything. As to why the victim was holding the treasure box, it can easily be explained as thus. Brain, don't fail me now. What reason could the victim possibly have had to be holding that treasure box? The victim was holding the treasure box because he was the thief. It's an idea I just happened to stumble upon, but I think it just might be the answer. And it would turn this whole trial upside down.
Hello, defense, are you still with us? Let's hear this easy explanation you promised.
Isn't it possible that it was because the victim himself was the thief?
The victim?
The thief?
What kind of bull are you spewing now? Your Majesty, this guy's off his rocker.
If the victim was the thief, everything we've learned so far would all make sense. And it would give us a completely new way to interpret the victim's actions. After the morning dance of devotion, Mr. Roll went to the treasure room. He grabbed the box that contained the treasure and started to take off with it. But then he ran into Albie on the Great Stairs. That's why Mr. Roll pulled his gun on Albie. Then, when the blackout occurred, Mr. Roll was bludgeoned to death in the darkness. This explains why the victim would be holding the glowing treasure box in the dark, and how it would have been possible for someone other than the accused to kill him.
Do you have any idea what you're saying?
You're unbelievable, lawyer man. I think you've lost it. Ha ha! That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Roll, trying to roll the temple.
Oh, it does, Kecleon. The "did you steal it" line doesn't make much sense in that setup. There's just one detail that Phoenix missed.
That devout believer, that pious Karainist. I won't allow you to disparage the victim's departed soul with unfounded allegations. I hope you're prepared to back up your claim.
Of course, Your Majesty.
Oh, really? In that case, can we assume you have proof?
Uh-oh. Proof, huh? Do I have any proof? But I can't back down now. Yes, I have proof. In my dreams. The proof that Mr. Roll was the thief may have been left behind on a certain piece of evidence.
Very well. Let's see your evidence and be ready to stand behind it.
Footprints, fingerprints. I'll take anything at this point. I need proof. Something that would have been involved with the theft. And that might still have some trace evidence left on it.
What proof do you have that the victim might have been the thief?
Take that.
Take that!
The defense would like to examine the treasure box. There might be trace evidence on it that would show that the victim had held it.
Might? You'd better hope you turn up something more definitive than that defense.
Yes, sir, Your Majesty.
Very well. Bailiff, bring the treasure box. There you are, defense. You're free to examine it.
If I don't find something now, my entire argument up to this point will be blown. Plus, there's that little matter of the old tongue shears. I have to find something. I just have to. Now, to make sure I remember how to do this, I can rotate the evidence by sliding the touchscreen. I can zoom in and out with the slider on the left, too, to get a better look. If I ever get too turned around, I can always touch reset to return things to this initial state. I better search every inch of this box carefully. Touch anything of interest to check it out in detail. Leave your fingerprints all over it, why don't you? Now let's have a look at the lock. This is the lock. It was forced open. I don't really see anything else of note about it. What about the inside of the box? So this is where the Founder's Orb was, huh? I doubt there's any trace of the orb left here now. Although, I don't really know anything about the orb, so who knows? Some kind of bloodstain. The lid of the box was forced open, but while the victim was holding the box, the lid must have been closed. I'll try closing the lid too.
Hey!
What?
You son of a... You locked it!
So? What's the big deal? I thought you can open it with that key you're wearing.
Yeah, I can. No sweat.
Then why is there a bucket load dripping off of you over there? I think I'd like to open this box back up again. Could you lend me your Magatama key?
Sure.
Okay, let's see. Where's the keyhole?
Well,
It's the Magatama key, so wouldn't it go in the hole above the Magatama mark? Huh? It won't open.
would you look at that? The thief must have busted the lock when they forced the box open.
Really? Because I'm not so sure about that. Not even the Magatama key can open it. Okay. In any case, I'd better take another good look. I have to find proof that the victim was holding this box. How about this handprint? This bloodstain! It shows the outline of a hand! Could this be what I've been looking for? Your Majesty, take a look at this. There's a bloodstain here that outlines the shape of a hand.
Really? Let me see that. Oh my! You're right!
Now I'm getting somewhere. I believe the bloodstain is an outline of the victim's hand as he was holding the box.
What?
Even as he was being struck, he held on tight to the precious treasure box. After all, he'd gone through a lot of trouble to steal it. The blood from his head wound splattered across his hand and onto the box.
Your Majesty, don't let yourself be taken in. It's just more of his loyalty deceit.
What do you mean?
Mr. Wright, where is your proof that the outline is that of the victim's hand?
What? I should have seen this coming.
Either show proof or prepare to meet the shears. Or you can save us all some time and bite your tongue out now and submit it instead.
That I did not see coming.
Roll defense, how about it? Do you have proof that the outline is of the victim's hand?
Where would the proof of something like that even be?
Please submit your evidence at this time. What evidence shows that the outline of the treasure box is that of the victim's hand?
Take that.
Take that!
I've got it! This is the evidence that's going to save my beloved tongue. Mr. Payne, despite your claims about my forked tongue, it just so happens I have the proof you require.
You do?
It's right here in this crime photo.
It is? Where? Defense, please point it out!
What proves that the bloodstain outline on the box is that of the victim's hand, you ask? The big ol' bloodstain on his glove. Mr. Payne, take a good look at the victim's hand. See this? That's blood.
What?
If we place Mr. Roll's hand inside the bloody outline...
You think the blood on his hand would complete the splatter?
Exactly. Here goes nothing. And if they do form one complete splatter, it would prove my theory correct.
Then the victim really was holding the box.
I'm willing to bet my life on it. The defense reasserts that the victim was the thief who stole the treasure box.
You can't be serious!
Whoops.
I protest! There's no way they would ever match up! I assert that it's patently impossible for... Ow!
Talk about tongue karma. Sounds like he just bit his. What's the matter, Mr. Payne? Did your forked tongue get tangled up in there? Or were you trying to submit your own tongue to the court?
I can hardly believe it. Apparently, not everything out of the defense's mouth is a bluff.
Of course not, Your Majesty. This tongue doesn't lie. And I'd like to continue to use my tongue in the future, too, if you wouldn't mind. He never has to know it really was a bluff.
No, not Mr. Roll! I can't believe it!
I'm sorry, Albie. I know it's upsetting news. Alright, enjoy your breakfast, Sparkle. Thanks for sticking it out for so long. I know it's upsetting news. He must have needed the money badly, probably to support his family. After all, he even gave up his dream of becoming a monk to help them.
Oh, so that thing Mr. Roll would say to me... Albie, you train hard and make sure you become a monk one day. Don't end up like me, he'd say.
Yeah, he was probably warning you not to end up a thief.
Mr. Roll...
Objection! Now wait just 1 minute! If the victim was the thief, and he was holding the treasure box, that means Mr. Roll was holding the murder weapon when he was killed!
Oh, that's a very good point. It doesn't make much sense, does it?
Objection!
If the victim was holding the treasure box, it couldn't have been the murder weapon. Which means the real murder weapon must have been something else.
Real murder weapon?
What's something else?
The blood was thought to have gotten on the box when the box was used as a weapon. But it turns out that wasn't the case. The blood splattered onto the treasure box the victim was holding, when he... Wait. The blood splattered onto the treasure box the victim was holding when he was struck with the real weapon. That's what really happened. Isn't that right, Mr. Understanding?
Are you insinuating I'm the one who used this real weapon?
Are you saying I'm wrong in my understanding?
You got me riled up, lawyer man. I feel a song coming on.
Here we go again, and my cord is stuck.
Looking for a weapon that just don't exist. Pathetic lawyer man, drop it to the abyss. Despicable lawyer man, yo, you make me sick. You can disappear just like a magic trick. Worthless lawyer man, done it. Buy a weapon for you miserable rich. Hell doth make can.
Thank you, pizza!
Yeah!
I know I don't need to remind you, Defense, that your life is on the line. I know, Your Majesty. Yet you're prepared to risk it on this mere idea of a real murder weapon?
Death to the lawyer!
Posture is important for singing too. Yes, thank you, Kecleon. I made sure to stand up and stand as properly as I could, given the setup for that. This is it, the moment of truth. I can't back down, not now. Yes, Your Majesty, I am. I'm confident the real murder weapon does indeed exist.
That's a bold claim, Mr. Ride. Now let's see you back it up. Show us which piece of evidence points to this real murder weapon.
Gladly. If I knew which one it was, what would somebody like Understanding use to bludgeon someone?
Now then, Defense, please submit your evidence to the court. Yeah, let's see it, lawyer man. Let's see this thing that shows the real murder weapon you say I used.
Take that.
Take that!
What I'm about to present is really nothing more than a possibility, but this thin thread is all I've got. Allow me to direct the court's attention to this photo of the morning dance of devotion.
That photo, how is that going to help you, Mr. Ride?
There's something about it that doesn't sit right with me. Pay attention.
Oh yeah? And what's this something?
This thing here is odd, to say the least. I don't know if we ever got a good look at this picture, but this is a little sus.
Take that!
Mr. Understanding, why is the instrument you're holding different from the one you're playing in the photo?
Would you look at that? They're completely different shapes.
I believe you said your Damalon was your one and only?
Well, Mr. Understanding, what do you have to say to that? I got nothing to say.
Then allow me to answer for you. They're different because the one in the photo is no longer in playable condition. Not after you used it to bludgeon Mr. Roll to death!
My old partner wasn't doing so hot, so I brought her sister along, that's all. Not a big deal, lawyer man.
In that case, please submit your old Damalon to this court as evidence.
Too bad. You're too late. I got rid of her yesterday.
You what?
Burned her up with the rest of the trash. Ashes to ashes, baby. Ha
No! He's already destroyed the evidence?
And I see more trash right here in this court that needs to burn in the fires of hell. Lawyer trash.
Now there's no proof to show.
Oh, come on, that was pathetic. Your agony can sound better than that. Where's that great scream of yours?
This can't be how it ends.
I think I've heard enough. It seems the defense is unable to produce the evidence it needs to prove its assertion.
But, Your Majesty, that's only because the witness destroyed it.
Evidence is everything in court. Don't tell me you've forgotten this most fundamental principle of our profession.
Without sufficient proof, your claim that Mr. Understanding is the murderer is no more than conjecture.
There's the pained expression I've been looking for. By the way, there seems to be one more thing you're forgetting.
What is it now?
You accused Mr. Understanding of being the thief, but the real thief turned out to be the victim.
Uh-oh.
And with that, Mr. Understanding's purported motive for murder goes out the window.
Great point, prosecutor, you tell him. If I had been there, I would have just collared Roll and gotten the treasure back. There wasn't any reason for me to kill him now. Was there?
There's no good counter-argument to that.
It sounds to me like Mr. Understanding has been completely wrongfully accused. Unfortunate as it may be, I think it's time to hand down the verdict in this case.
Not good, not good!
Defense, I trust you understand what you yourself will receive for taking on this case.
What do I do? The murder weapon's been destroyed, and now I've got no motive. Poor Albie will be convicted, and I'll lose my life too.
Mr. Wright, you've wasted this court's time and disparaged everything we hold sacred. We should charge you with lèse majesty in addition to the crime of abetting the accused.
Yeah, you should pay for desecrating my good name. Bye-bye, lawyer man. Time for you to do some repenting in the Twilight Realm.
This guy is guilty as sin. I just know it. He must have had some reason to kill Mr. Roll, but what?
Come on, people, let me hear you scream and shout. Time to take this lawyer trash out.
Exterminate! Annihilate! Exterminate! Annihilate!
The thing to do at a time like this is to turn my thinking around. I shouldn't be trying to figure out what Understanding's motive was. I should be thinking about what kind of situation would give him a motive.
Did you steal it? He said.
And here you go, Kecleon. We know that Mr. Roll was the thief, and that he had gotten his hands on the box. So then why in the world did he ask Albie that question? What about the treasure box would have prompted him to...
Ah! Defense, what's gotten into you?
Now I get it! Now it all makes sense!
Like Paul Kunka, man, what you trying to say? Muttering and squealing to yourself sounds like you knocked something loose upstairs.
He picked up the box when he saw it was empty. Your Majesty, you are very close, Kecleon. Please hold off on your ruling for just a little while longer.
Don't tell me you're going to start begging for your life now.
No, Your Majesty, that's not it. It's just that I realized something important. We've been operating under a serious misconception this whole time.
A misconception, you say?
That's right. A mistaken notion about the treasure box. Could this really be true? If so, there's still a lot to figure out.
Very well. Let's hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, this is just more of his nonsense. He's just stalling for time.
This is your last chance, Defense. The second I find it really is nothing but nonsense. No amount of begging will stay my hand. Understand?
Yes, Your Majesty.
We all know this is just going to be another one of your stupid bluffs.
Now then, Defense, what is this misconception you mentioned?
The thing we didn't realize about the treasure box was that it was empty. What if the treasure box was already empty from the start? What?
What?
Please recall that when Mr. Roll ran into Albie on the Great Stairs, he asked the boy a question.
Did you steal it? He said.
Also recall that Mr. Roll was holding the treasure box at the time. So why then did he ask Albie the question that he did?
That is a bit peculiar, isn't it?
Not at all, Your Majesty. Not once you realize that by the time Mr. Roll got to the treasure room, the treasure box was already empty.
I beg your pardon!
Mr. Roll suspected that Albie had gotten to it first, which is why he confronted Albie when he ran into the boy on the stairs.
Objection! But how would the victim have known the treasure box was empty? He didn't have any way of opening it!
Objection!
Once a year, the victim had the duty of carrying the treasure box to the palace.
He was so proud when he was put in charge of guarding the treasure box. He even got to carry the box to the palace for the New Year's rite.
He would have been able to tell by the weight when he lifted it that the box was empty.
Ah, I see. Yes, I suppose he would have been able to tell, wouldn't he?
Mr. Roll most likely decided to at least steal the empty box. It's an important historical artifact in and of itself, after all.
What's your point, Mr. Wright? What does any of this have to do with Mr. Understanding?
My point is this. It gave Mr. Understanding a motive to murder the victim.
A motive?
Mr. Understanding, keeping the treasure safe is one of your duties, isn't it? So if anyone had found out that the treasure was missing, you would have been accused of incompetence. From the moment Mr. Roll discovered that the treasure was gone, his fate was sealed, because you decided then that he had to be silenced forever.
But that's absurd!
Can you believe the stuff that comes out of this guy's mouth? This is all just a colossal joke. So then what really happened to the treasure?
It had been stolen long before this incident occurred, by Mr. Peaslub and Understanding himself.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to accuse Mr. Understanding? Your Majesty, please don't listen to these trumped-up charges the defense is grasping!
The treasure box can only be opened with the key Mr. Understanding holds. Who else could have stolen the treasure?
As I said, the accused stole the treasure by forcing open the box! Your Majesty, I call for a swift ruling!
I'm not ready to give my verdict yet.
What?!
The defense has successfully presented a new possibility in this case.
Yes, finally, a tiny shred of hope!
Mr. Understanding, would you care to make any statements in response to the defense's claims? This is all bull! My nugget's a rage cage and it's ready to explode, baby!
This honestly makes me glad that here in Quebec, at least, you cannot take pics of the accused in the courtroom nor televise the trials. Yeah, I know, right, Pizza? You know, there are a few videos on YouTube you can find where people have, like, set up Ace Attorney characters to talk out, like, rather particularly amusing snippets of trial transcripts. Like the one where he says, like the one where the guy is where the lawyer is insisting that that this dead person could have been alive when the coroner had the victim's brain in a jar. He's like, yes, I suppose he could still be walking around and practicing law. Yes, stuff like that. There's a series of YouTube videos that does stuff like that. And sets it to Ace Attorney dialogue. Lawyers aren't allowed to assume too much information, even based on common sense. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Instructor, understand it. Please calm yourself. I'm not gonna take it. No, I ain't gonna take it. I'm not gonna take it anymore. I dutifully watched over that treasure with pride. And now I'm getting accused of stealing it. This lawyer is a lying scumbag.
That's the second time today that song has come up. Oh, do tell about the first Kecleon. Now you got me curious. Yes, that is Twisted, sis. Eep!
You better believe I got something to say. Open up your ear holes, sheeple. Let's rock! Death to the lion lawyer!
First was just making fun of me. Yeah, fair enough. Here we are. Here we are. Lion Lawyer. Alright, one last drink. Let's do this.
Steal the Trafalgar's army, I did it! This lion lawyer's insults know no limit! All this time I guarded the arm faithfully. Sacred duty to the Holy Mother, easy to see. Hands on clean, the accused did the deed. Forced the box open, no key did he need. Lion lawyer, condemn him to hell. Kick him, throw him, cast him, toss him into a prison cell.
Yeah, there was a little bit of... I had a little bit more fun with that one.
Alright, we've now heard from both sides. Either the treasure box was forced open by the accused, as the witness claims, or Mr. Understanding opened it, as the defense claims. Defense, this is your last chance to cross-examine the witness.
Yes, Your Majesty.
If you are unable to prove your assertions by the end of this cross-examination,
Then the DC Act will come into play, and both you and the accused will lose your lives.
I understand. Life or death, it all comes down to this.
Mr. Wright.
Don't worry, Albie. I'm here to defend you. I promise it'll be all right.
Thank you. I believe in you, Mr. Wright. I know you can win this for us. And after we win, we can go see Miss Maya together.
It's a deal. I can't let Albie down. I have to win this trial. Somehow I have to prove that only Understanding could have stolen the treasure.
do your worst, lawyer trash. This is your requiem. The last song you'll ever hear on this mortal coil.
Lying lawyer.
Steal the Founder's army, I did it! This lying lawyer's insults know no limit.
Okay. So I left some notes for myself for this part, because... Yeah, thanks, I don't want more. Oh, come on! Come on, Sparkle. I'm not that bad, am I?
Hold it!
I have some notes to myself on what statements to press to get more songs, so I'll do that first. Your sacred duty, huh? The problem with that is that I don't think you really are a true believer.
Why, you? How dare you question my faith? It's downright insulting!
Oh, well, thank you, Sparkle. Yeah, he's been a head monk for less than a year. Yeah. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, pizza.
It's downright insulting!
I'm not trying to insult you, but I can't suspend logic either. You wormed your way into the temple with the intent of stealing the treasure, didn't you?
I've had all the insults I can take out of you, lawyer trash!
But you're the only one who can open the treasure box.
You just keep on arguing the same old lie. I sing the truth, hear my battle cry! You just keep on arguing the same old lie.
Okay. The opening of the box happens once a year, and he wasn't in the temple last year. Oh, fair enough, Pizza. Yeah. Good thinking, good thinking. I can't remember whether that comes up, though. Okay. And we press this statement. The defendant didn't force the box open. That's a lie. In fact, you're the one who opened it. Isn't that right?
Come on. You just saw for yourself, didn't you? The lock was busted on account of the box being forced open.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, there's your proof right there.
Ah. Score 1 for the metalhead. Hang on.
Look, if the accused really didn't try to force his way into the box, then how do you explain why the lock was busted and wouldn't open up for you earlier?
How do I explain why the box wouldn't unlock earlier? Maybe there's a different way to open it. There's a different way to open the box. Huh?
Huh? What are you talking about?
There's a secret trick to opening it to protect its contents from being stolen. And you're the only one who knows how it works. Isn't that right?
Are you for real? You've been watching too many movies, lawyer man.
Ah, so you're one of those tourists. Honestly, Mr. Wright, did you come expecting magic and mystery around every corner?
The Outer World's not... Oh, right. Outer Wilds is a different thing. Yeah, I should fix that. Thank you, Sparkle. I apologize. I must have been, I must have been thinking about Outer Wilds when I put that up. I was kind of rushing during that, during a stream to fix that because it was out of date. It's fixed. Apologies again. Okay. Get rid of that, get rid of this.
Honestly, Mr.
Yeah, we said that.
I'll have you know, defense, the Kingdom of Kurine is not some sort of fantasy fun land.
There's a little bit more song coming up, so just for you, Sparkle and Pizza, I'll leave this for a couple minutes. And get a little bit of water. Anyways, for any subs who might be watching, maybe you could gift Sparkle or Pizza a sub? Oh, it's done already. Okay. Yeah. So my little ad break prompt is like way off. Huh. Okay.
I'll have you know, defense, the Kingdom of Kurine is not some sort of fantasy fun land.
It's true I don't have any real grounds to make that assertion, and yet...
Oh yeah, I feel another song coming on.
Yes, there's only one sub left before I speedrun Pizza Tower. I thought I pointed that out. Oh, you may not have been here for that. Sorry, Kecleon.
A little number about a crazy lawyer with wild, fantastic ideas. The real method to open the lock, you say. Delusional, man, there ain't no other way.
Hey, yo!
Ah, a new verse. Please do add it to your testimony, Mr. Understanding.
And now we press this. Delusional, am I? We'll see about that.
No, I thought ideas, that's called delusion. Makes a lawyer drown in confusion.
In Indeed, the defense's sinful wrongdoing has made him lose touch with reality.
Let's hear it. What'll it be for this sinner's flight of fancy?
Nothing, because I'm not the delusional one. I just know there's gotta be some secret trick to opening the treasure box.
Oh, really? And where exactly is this secret hidden?
The secret is obviously hidden in the key. There's obviously some secret hidden in the key. I'd like to examine it, if you please.
Ha 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 ha! You don't know when to quit, do ya? Here, go ahead. Examine it all you like.
Nothing. I don't see a thing.
Well, Defense, what have you discovered?
I'm afraid I haven't discovered anything, Your Majesty. Here, I'll return it now.
I told ya! Didn't I tell ya?
Yes, you told me.
There's just no reasoning with this man. The accused forced the lock open. There's no other explanation.
That's right. He desecrated the box by opening it without using this Mitama key.
Oh my god. Thank you, Kecleon. Okay. Awesome. Everybody thank Kecleon. That was the last sub that we needed for my Pizza Tower speedrun. That will happen... Well, I'll put up a few possible times for it this coming week for like an extra stream slot. And I'll let you decide over the next couple of days when that will be. Awesome. Oh. Pineapple pizza. I mean, I don't mind that, but I don't know what Peppino would think, actually. We'll find out, perhaps. Hey, yo! But no, we've finally done it, comrades! I'm gonna have to prepare. It's gonna be a long one. Like I say, I gotta do it in under 4 hours, but that's playtime. So, like, ranking screens and all that, the timer freezes during those. So it's probably gonna be... Well, I don't know how fast I'm gonna be able to do it, because I haven't tried this before. That's the fun of it. We'll see how it goes. I've never gotten the ending that I'm after before. My goal is to get that ending. Peppino can't run anymore, that is true. Unfortunately, I didn't have like a thing of him. I didn't have a picture prepared of him just like screaming or something. That would have been a good idea, I think. But thank you. You'll get to see and hear Peppino scream plenty this coming week. Thank you again, Kecleon. Thank you so much. Wait, what did he just say?
I'll sing it as many times as I have to get it through your thick lawyer skull. Only the Mitama key unlocks the treasure. Force it and reap the founder's displeasure.
How many subs do you need?
Yeah!
How many subs do I need before you get me to buy any Pizza Tower merch? You know what? I might just do that to celebrate this anyway. I'll see if I can find any. That's a good idea, Pizza. Let's say... Yeah. I'll do the speed run. And if I get X number of subs, maybe if I like set a goal of X number of subs by the end of the speed run, then I'll get something. Might do that. We'll see.
For the forgetful defense's sake, could you please add that to your testimony?
If I have to, carve it into your brain, lawyer man.
Yeah. I'm gonna check one thing.
Hold it!
Yeah, we've heard that. Okay. Okay, there's no more song there if I say box. Okay. Well, here we are. That was the last of the singing. Because, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else, we got them. You're planning on subscribing at some point anyway with your yearly raise. Oh, you get a yearly raise. Nice, Kecleon. Fairly low increase in rent. Okay, fair enough. More disposable income. Very good, very good. Well, thank you for spending it here. Anyway, this whole time we've been calling this the Magatama key, not the Mitama key. This part took me so long to figure out on my first playthrough. It was embarrassing. Objection!
Objection!
Just a minute, Mr. Understanding. You just called your key the Mitama key, didn't you? But didn't you originally say it's called the Magatama key?
The Mitama key? What's that?
I will say that I did notice the name difference, but like because I thought that the Magatama was a symbol, was just as much a symbol of like the spirit as the Mitama symbol. I didn't think this difference was consequential, but it is. I don't know, Your Majesty, but apparently it's a rather crucial question.
What? What's the big deal? So I said the wrong thing, so what? Simple slip of the tongue.
An A for effort, Mr. Wright, but your grandstanding betrays your desperation. I'm afraid a small slip of the tongue like that adds absolutely nothing to your argument.
What say you, defense? Is it an important detail?
Judging by Understanding's reaction, I'd say it's everything my argument needs. Yes, Your Majesty, it's very important. This key is apparently not the Magatama key, but rather the Mitama key. And I believe this discrepancy holds great significance for the defense.
Nah, man, just a meaningless mistake. Insignificant. You're riding the crazy train to nowhere, lawyer man.
Your Majesty, please don't pay the defense any heed. It's all nonsense.
To tell the truth, I'm not really clear on what the defense is driving at myself. However, I am eager to find out.
What?
Defense, you will explain yourself like your life literally depends on it. Because it does. Now then, is the name of the key an important detail?
Yes, it's an absolutely important detail, I think. Because the Mitama key is connected to the Founder's Orb.
I see. Very well. In that case, please show the court the grounds on which you are basing this claim.
The grounds, Your Majesty?
You can, of course, show grounds, can you not, defense?
Of course! What else can I say? I have to come up with something, anything, even if it's just a bluff. The Mitama key. Mitama. There has to be something somewhere that ties Mitama and the orb together.
Don't keep me waiting, defense. What evidence shows a connection between the Mitama key and the Founder's Orb?
The Song of Ceremony. When the butterfly embraces the Mitama, the favor of the orb is bestowed. Take that.
Take that!
What's that? The Song of Ceremony?
All this time, the answer was right there in front of me! It's right there in the Song of Ceremony performed during the Dance of Devotion! Your Majesty, the Song of Ceremony tells us the treasure of the founder of Kurainism. But hidden within its lyrics is the secret behind how to really open the treasure box.
Holy
Mother! But how can that be, defense?
The Song of Ceremony contains the following lyrics. When the butterfly embraces the Mitama, the favor of the orb is bestowed. I believe the Mitama here refers to the Mitama key.
Well, yes, it is the same word, but that doesn't mean...
We've been calling this key the Magatama key, and that's why I inserted the key into the lock with the Magatama design on it. But that was obviously not the right way to use it.
And I suppose you know the right way?
I do, Your Majesty. To use the key properly, you have to first flip it vertically to make it into the Mitama symbol. If we turn the Magatama shape upside down like this, becomes the Kuraine's symbol of the soul. In other words, a Mitama.
My, you're absolutely right. But now what? What do you do with it? It's too big to fit into. It's too big to fit into the lock that way.
Oh,
I knew he was just bluffing. Bluffs and lies are the only tools of his trade, after all.
there must be some other place this key fits. Where? Let's see, what were the words of the Song of Ceremony again? When the butterfly embraces the Mitama, the favor of the orb is bestowed. Where should the Mitama key actually be used? Well, let's have a look around the box here. We got a butterfly, and we got a Mitama-shaped hole in that pattern.
Got it!
Let's try there, shall we? I love how he just looks the slightest bit surprised and then just confident.
My goodness!
Blink and you'll miss it sort of thing.
The treasure box really opens. No way, man!
What? No!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the real secret behind the Song of Ceremony. It's the true key to opening the treasure box. It's all over, Mr. Payne.
How so?
Let's say someone was fooled into trying to force the front-facing lock open. Sadly for them, it won't budge. That's because the lock is, after all, just a decoy.
Then what you're saying is,
Neither the victim nor the defendant would have been able to open the box. They therefore had no way of stealing the treasure. The only one who could have stolen it is the one man who knew about the Mitama key. Peace, love, and understanding. But I'm not done yet. Please recall the scene of the crime. On the floor by Mr. Roll's body was the very unlocked and very open treasure box. Only someone who knew how to open the box could have left it in that state. And so, there can be only one true culprit. Admit it, Mr. Understanding, you're the one who killed Mr. Roll! Hang on. Alright, here we go.
curse him! It's all his fault! Why'd he have to try and steal the treasure? Why'd I have to spot him with that box? On my way to the storeroom after the morning dance! It's his fault I had to cause that blackout and clock him good! I couldn't let my secret get out. Nobody could know the treasure box was empty. I'd lose my position as head monk. Who knows what else they'd do to me? I couldn't let... I had to stop him.
What a shocking development. I can scarcely believe it. Nothing like this has ever happened since the DC Act was enacted 23 years ago.
No! My perfect, unblemished record destroyed. The incredible pain ruined. No!
Oops. Did the lawyer really win? I can't believe it.
No way! This can't be happening!
Peace! I said peace! Honestly speaking, I'm just as shocked as everyone else.
You would think so, Sparkle. I don't think they ever show that, though.
Honestly speaking, I'm just as shocked as everyone else. But the truth has been made known, so it's time for me to give my verdict. In the name of the Holy Mother, this court finds the accused Albie Urguide not guilty.
He'll have to reappear in another game for more comic relief. Maybe another Payne brother. Who knows? The first 3 games had Winston Payne, who was kind of wimpy, but, like, he seemed to just be doing his job. His brother, Gaspin Payne, though, as I said, absolute slime ball. April 24th, 1:36 p.m., High Court of Khura'in, accused lobby. There's still quite a commotion. People in the galleries show no sign of clearing out.
I can't believe it!
Not guilty!
I'm still in shock! Can you believe that guy?
I can feel everybody's eyes on me. This can't be happening! It's impossible!
Oh, Holy Mother, preserve us!
I've never been in a defendant lobby quite this uncomfortable.
Mr. Wright!
Oh, Albie!
Thank you so much for what you did for me!
Bork, bork. I'm just glad it turned out okay. It's touch and go there for a while.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Wright. I had a really hard time trusting you at first.
Look at the doggo. Aww. That's okay, Albie. I know how unpopular lawyers are in this country. But how did it ever get this way in the first place?
Allow me to explain. At least, I wish I could explain. But I don't really know why. I never even questioned it before today. By the time I was born, all the lawyers were already gone. As far back as I can remember, verdicts have been based on her benevolence's insights.
Right. Rafa, the royal priestess.
You would imply that the trials of this country are unfair. Do explain, outsider. How verdicts founded on truths imparted by the very souls of the dead lack impartiality.
For her part, I'm sure she really believes in what she says, but even with her benevolence's divination seances, lawyers are still necessary. Without proper defense, people could easily wind up receiving wrongful convictions.
Mr. Wright! Shh!
Huh?
Don't say that so loud! People might think you're a rebel! You could be arrested!
A rebel?
That's right, one of those people going against our queen and the court system. They call themselves the Defiant Dragons. And they're led by a scary guy named Dirk. He'll do anything to overthrow Her Eminence, even commit crimes.
Dirk. I remember people in the gallery mentioning that name.
The things you're saying sound a lot like the stuff they say. But you're not scary like that Dirk guy.
Pardon the intrusion. You. Yeah, you. I want to talk to you, see?
Flight, is it? Right, sir. Phoenix Wright. And you are?
I'm the Khura'inese Minister of Justice. The name's Inga Karkul Khura'in. I oversee the whole legal shebang. I was watching that 3-ring circus in there.
You were? Wow, the Minister of Justice. So he's in charge of the entire court system, Defense Culpability Act and all.
Minister Inga, how are you, sir?
Run along, Mini Mock. Grown-ups are talking here.
Yes, sir. Very sorry, sir.
May I help you with something?
Just wanted a good look at you. Guys like you aren't exactly a dime a dozen around here.
Well then. He's eyeing me like I'm some kind of exotic creature in a cage. Oh yeah, might as well share this little morsel with you. Turns out Roll was a seasoned thief, a repeat offender, see? Had my men look into it, they found all the booty he pilfered right there in his digs.
But he seemed like such a nice man. Why, Mr. Roll, why?
Guess he was doing it for the family. What a mook.
Mook, how can you say that?
Guess that kind of sob story gets you common folk all misty-eyed, huh? Anyway, another thing. I had my men check out that understanding fella, too. He wasn't the one with the sticky fingers. It's the insurgents.
What?
Abukas. Yep. They put the squeeze on our head monk, apparently. So he gave up the Founder's Orb and tried to keep it hush-hush. Wow, I see. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, say what? That was a cute little number you pulled in my courtroom today, wasn't it? First not guilty ruling in 23 years. You're making waves, see? Stirring the pot. Catch my drift.
Oh, well,
Yikes, I'm in for it now!
But thanks to that song and dance, we know our precious national treasure got nicked. So I'm gonna call it a wash and let it slide this time. But all I did was defend the accused. You'd do best to read between the lines here, chump. You're standing on thin ice, you get my drift. Even a dirty, no-good punk knows how to cash in his chips before the house steps in. Do us both a favor and keep an eye on the path you're walking down. You never know whose toes you might be stepping on. This ain't your turf, buddy. Never forget whose soil it is you're standing on.
Yikes! He was kind of scary, wasn't he?
I can think of a lot of different words to call him, and none of them would be appropriate for my grandmother to hear. Yeah, well, no use worrying about it. We have more important things to think about. Such as, when can we continue the sightseeing tour?
Tour? Oh, anytime, sir. We still have plenty of time until Miss Maya's training ends. And there are still lots more temples to see and all kinds of local foods to eat. I can show you the natural beauty of the area and the waterfalls used for training. And I haven't shown you the breathtaking mountain view from the Plaza of Devotion yet. There's a place where they take you off a really steep cliff, lavish soul, a great view of towers from dark and the bed
All right, slow down, Albie. There's plenty of time.
And when we're done with all that, we can go see Miss Maya together.
Yeah, you bet. Maya, I wonder how she's doing. Hope she's okay.
So, how about that not guilty, Dirk?
I heard. Sounds like the winds of change are beginning to stir.
Oh, did he say a great view of the Twilight Realm? If he did say a great view of the Twilight Realm, it's probably because bungee jumping is a near-death experience. A new episode has been added. More importantly, the DLC has been opened up. I will definitely be streaming the DLC. However... hang on. Yes, Jamieson Price is the voice of Dirk. That is correct. And yes, Pizza, one of those names would sound very similar to Brickhead. Oh, wait, no, I'm in the wrong place. Oh, you can... They get really specific with that. He's also, unfortunately, the voice of Gosei. I don't know who that is. Or at least I don't remember. Power Rangers Megaforce? Oh, I see what happened. Let's see, I'll exit now. Show you my face again. My God, my throat hurts so bad right now. It's all scratched up. Okay. Fortunately, there's nothing that's going to be that hard on my voice coming up. At least I hope not. All right. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and thank you again, Kekleon, for subbing and finishing off our little drive there for Pizza Tower. Have lukewarm water. Well, this is pretty lukewarm by now. Anyway, thanks again. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. I enjoyed it immensely. And yeah, I will keep trying to get the sound working for Pikmin 4. I think I heard from someone on a different stream that getting that working the way I want it to is going to require some sort of audio cable splitter, like a splitter for this kind of wire here that I have for my earbuds. So I'll see if I can find one of those, and if I can, and if that works, then we're golden, and I can finally get on with the Pikmin. Sorry, do I keep saying Pikmin 4? I meant Pikmin 3. Maybe Pikmin 4 after that, but what you all voted for was Pikmin 3, and I don't have Pikmin 4 yet anyway, so I would probably need to do 3 to like get caught up on the Pikmin stuff first, anyways. But yeah, point is, yeah. That'll be coming as soon as I figure out the technical issues. And there's the hey, yes pizza, and also yeah, the link is here for joining the Discord. I will soon be posting the vote there and an announcement that the drive has been completed, and now we just need to decide on a time for me to do my Pizza Tower speedrun, which will also be very exciting. Very much looking forward to that. The time has finally come, you know. It's gonna be so much fun. Anyway, yeah, don't forget to follow if you haven't, and also don't forget to sub, because even though the drive is complete, subs are still appreciated, especially if you have Prime. If you have Prime, you can sub to me for free. Still helps me out a lot. Anyway, that's all the announcements out of the way, so let's see who there is to raid. Unless anyone has any last-minute requests with the guide the raid option. Oh, come on. Okay. It wasn't, the Twitch site wasn't loading at first. Let's see. We got... Okay. Oh! Oh! Hello. Okay. We got someone streaming Monster Hunter Rise. Let's check them out. One of my mutuals here. Yep, that's the one. Let's see how he's doing, eh? Thank you again for watching and listening to my performance. And see you over there, comrades.
I'm sorry, but I am a Russian spy.
Yeah. I will do the shoutouts, and Hal, do the shoutouts.
You're
Okay.
a Russian spy that they put in Kentucky.
Well, come on in. This is not a Russian raid. This is not a Russian raid. It's totally not. It's a Korean raid.
Yeah.
Playing some Ace Attorney. Dang, you got me. You got. How's your night going? Thank you for the raid. I hope you had a good stream.
Ow. See? Overruled.
I'm Prez the castle.
Go ahead, do it. I'll put you in the box.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'll put you in the box, Al.
Okay. Let me know when I'm in the box.
There you go.
Dude.
You're in the box.
I'm in the box! Hi, I'm Prez the castle. I like RPGs, action games, fighting games, adventure games, indie games, and all that good stuff. We do card openings for Digimon and Pokemon. We make model kits for Gundam, Zoids, and Digimon. We have a variety of games on this channel at any time, including variety game nights, Monster Hunter nights, and fighting game nights between main playthroughs. I'm also never alone on these streams because I have my lovely stream team here with me, consisting of an emotional support Eevee. Because sometimes you need an emotional support Eevee. Hi, it's me. I need an emotional support Eevee. We also have entered Terriermon, who is a gift of secondhand CK over the UK. His eyes are big, he likes to dance, his are floof, and we love him. And of course, we also have the legend himself, co-host Gengar. Do you have any words for the people, co-host Gengar?
Be motivated! Yeah!
And that's all I've got.
Congrats, Silva. Got him. Or has she been replaced?
Thank you, Hal. It was a lot of fun. My voice isn't used to metal death growls. Now my throat hurts! But yeah, I voice act visual novels and play platformers mainly, and also Zelda type content. There's a VTuber activity that will be coming back to horror type stuff soon too. Okay. Can you see the EV again? Of course. I will. As soon as I have room to not panic. I could have sworn that we've met before, Spy. I feel like it's just been a while since we've seen each other.
Depends how much money you got. If you got enough cash, you can see that you can.
My Cash App's Howlnet.
President gonna try and get money for this shit, and I'm gonna try and get and then take a cut.
And that's my cash tag, everybody. Send me some cash.
Really? I recall we met in a hundred. That sounds about right.
She gets anything. Literally anything.
Peppino.
Holla, baby, holla.
Okay.
Dude, if she starts hollering here in about like 5 minutes, you know what happened.
We met in a hunt in this game.
Somebody sent Hal money for feet pics.
And I will holla. I'll send feet pics.
She'll be like
For
Teddy
$1?
Long up for this bitch. She'll be like Teddy Long up for this bitch. Holla, holla, holla.
No, feet pics are probably $5.
That's still cheap.
I mean, I sent pictures of my butt for a little bit. Not that much.
Not even $5, Hal?
Well, no, I said it's $20 for like a picture of my butt.
Swags.
My main varied by character. For Rebecca, it was IBG. For All Might, it was Hammer. Now it's Switch Axe with Peppino. Okay, there we go.
You gotta fleece the Sims. Come on.
Alright, there we go. There's
That's how
the EV.
OnlyFans works. They only have so much money.
I only have one simp, guys.
Prez is engaged now?
Whoa there, brother. Back up. No.
I don't know. I just assumed because I've been gone for so long.
We just started dating like 2-3 weeks ago, dude.
See? Like, I didn't even know that.
You mentioned it earlier.
I found out.
Speaking of Peppino.
Yeah, they're
I mean, he said it very clearly.
My
just
sub
one
girl
day.
is
engaged and
Tower.
marital socks both.
I'll if you want to catch that.
Don't even know what's going on in my best friend's life.
You just don't read.
Going for holy shit %.
What? I read all the
Which, yes, is a thing.
I finished 3 Witcher novels on my flights
Going
to
for holy
Florida.
shit %.
I don't
Which,
know if
yes, is a thing.
Someone else that was like talking about before.
What, The Witcher? Or Ace?
Pizza Tower.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
I play that game.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
I'm going to see the Barbie movie on Tuesday or
Nice.
Wednesday. I'm very
I'm up.
excited.
I was gonna say, if I play detective, will you pet me?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I'll pet you anyway, Prez.
Hell yeah.
We'll play Oppenheimer.
I'm gonna watch.
Probably the better movie.
95%
Barbie has definitely beaten Oppenheimer at the box office.
Game clock with 12 hours. Okay. That reminds me of like Hollow Knight completions because they have like above 100%
Surprise
completion.
of no one, Barbie dolls are gonna be
95%.
again.
They've been huge, and they're gonna
Thanks,
get bigger.
95.
The perfect Barbie doll.
Yes,
I think
is
she's
a
perfect
thing.
for the role of a Barbie.
Yes.
Margaret.
Yeah.
Dang, they really should just cast me as Barbie.
No.
Dang, Al, where's the homie support?
I mean, Prez is beautiful, but not like a Barbie.
You're right, I'm better than that.
You are. You're brown.
I'm also not plastic.
That's very true. And
Don't
you're
let
not
up.
fantastic if life's not plastic.
Hey, Bill.
How's everyone doing tonight? Y'all ready to
Metal the
rock? Actually, no, I'm not going to do that anymore because if I do that anymore, I am going to rupture my vocal cords.
Are you still streaming?
I think I was.